morning, everybody. It is the Mike Missanelli Show on, it looks like a little rain out there. We need it. I think we need a little dampness coming through because, the region is already soaked with emotion. So maybe the rain will lighten it up. Let's get into this here. I don't want to come off today like I'm going to, be supportive of Nick Sirianni. I just want to say, one thing. We are swimming right now in a sea of discontent and panic. So let's parse it out here. First of all, I'm reading a headline here that says late game decision making in the Eagles' loss to the Falcons turned up the heat on Nick Sirianni. Sirianni's conservative decision making may be what turns up the heat on him most. I go, all right, let me look back here. Conservative decision making. He went for a first down on 4th and 4 because the analytics supported that. Would that be considered conservative? I don't know. He threw a makeable little completion pass to the flat that was wide open that I would think would be an aggressive call that wanted to put the game away, and it just didn't work out because the guy didn't drop the ball. So, where are we? Where's the conservative decision making that we're doing here? It was the anti-conservative decision making that hurt them. Like, people are going, well, you should have run the ball twice and then you do the push. Oh, that's conservative. He tried to finish the game with a relatively safe play. Now, don't get me wrong here. I'm an axe man of the first degree. All right, I routinely have the axe cocked for most Philadelphia sports occasions. Like, I have it up here. It's up here. It's always cocked. But I don't swing it down unless it's absolutely necessary. And I'm going, Jesus, they're 1-1. I mean, you might think that they've fallen off the map. I know they have dipped a little in the power rankings, but we don't really know what we're going to bail out after 2 games. They lost the second game of the year. To me, this is a complete overreaction, and I just want to I want to go through some. I'm reading the comments today on a story that had to do with the Eagles, and let me just read. Here are people. What you're saying about the Eagles' loss, okay? And so, all right, here it is. The Eagles going for it on 4th in the first quarter on down and forfeiting the 3-point chip shot and the short thing field goal was a very poor offensive play call in my view. You go for it on 4th down either when you're ahead or with enough points to cushion or risk it or must go for it to stay in the game. They've always gone for it. They always go for it. It's the easiest thing to do is pick apart something after the fact because you have the knowledge, right? And now, we all looked at that play. Yeah, I'd take the points. But the analytics now that rule add to a coach's aggressiveness where everybody's going for it on 4th down anymore. Okay, I get it. But, okay, that's one comment. I was at the game, and everybody in Section 201 was going crazy when Sirianni chose to go for it on 4th and 3 rather than kick the field goal. What was he thinking? He was thinking the analytics say go for it. That's what he was thinking. Did we just hatch out of an egg? Where has the world gone with NFL football? It goes towards these analytical decisions. And while I would have taken the points too, it's not that outlandish of a decision. So here we go. Now we go with this one here. As in any loss, there were many mistakes and missed opportunities that hurt the team. But as Harry Truman said, the buck stops here. So the guy at the top, Nick, has to take responsibility for the loss. The play calling at the end when the coaches had to be at their very best was really hard to understand. What was so hard to understand about the play? I don't know. Something has happened to me, but I'm going, was it that bad a play call? My God, he catches the ball. It's a first down. You win the game, and everybody is the fact that he was aggressive and not conservative here. Let's bring in the gangs here. Bill's here. Ray's here. Bill, am I supporting Nick Sirianni here?
I think I'm wearing off on you a little bit. Now, I've defended Sirianni in coming back, and I'm with you. I actually agreed with all three. Well, I should say two of the decisions. I would have liked to have seen them kick the field goal in the first quarter as well. But where the fans, putting myself in the shoes of some of the fans who are upset, where they're upset is when you're saying he relied on analytics. In the first quarter, he relies on analytics. They don't kick the field goal. They go for it. Late in the game, after Saquon Barkley drops a very well-designed play that you and I both thought was the right call, the fourth down at that point, I still would have kicked the field goal. But if you rely on analytics, analytics would have told you to go for it. And according to Next Gen Stats, their win probability actually dropped from 94% to 85% when Elliott kicked that field goal. So I think where fans are saying, wait a second, if you're going to rely on analytics, rely on analytics. If you're going to be aggressive, and they would have preferred him to go for it after Barkley dropped that.
Oh, okay. So
pass.
85% is no good. Apparently 85% winning percentage is terrible. I'm like, I get it. It's not 97%. It's still 85. And it still puts the game in the hands of your defense. 85. Would you take 85% to win?
I would, and I think the field goal was the right move. But for sake of argument, to play devil's advocate, I think what the fans are saying is when you talk about being aggressive, well, then stay aggressive, is what they wanted. If you're not going to take the points in the first quarter, why take the points in the fourth quarter? I would have kicked the field goal as well. But here's the problem. You say rely on your defense, and we had this conversation yesterday. The microscope is on Nick Sirianni, but we can't lose sight of the fact that the general manager that built this defense 2 years in a row.
Go again. You brought him up in the first 8 minutes?
Because listen to this.
Can we at least breathe before you bring up Howie Roseman?
Let me give you some numbers, because I went and dove deep into the Eagles before the show. This defense that sat in the bottom of almost every category last year, that apparently made all these upgrades through 2 weeks, 30th in yards against, 27th in points against, 28th in passing yards against, 25th in rushing yards against, 32nd in yards per carry, 23rd in sacks, 24th in takeaways, 31st in pressure rate.
I get your point.
The defense is terrible.
They're not adequate enough. They didn't pick the right players. All right, that's a down the road conversation.
Well, it goes to what you're saying.
But here's the real conversation. The real conversation is I don't know yet, and people like. I'm going to. First, this offense is dull and lifeless. The Eagles stink. The secondary stinks. I watched them lose the game to the lowly Falcons in 150 seconds. Jalen is holding the ball way too long again, and the receivers aren't getting open. If there was a better team, they would have sacked them 10 times, not 2. The only thing that kept them in the game was the front line. They stink. What hurts the most? The failed 4x4 play early in the game. Those 4 yards look like 400. Kelsey ain't there, folks. This team stinks. You got to be kidding me. Here's Twitter. Ready for this? Bleep you, Kellen Moore. Bleep you, Saquon, for dropping that S. Bleep the entire bleeping defense. Bleep this team. What are we doing?
No, we're probably overreacting after 2 weeks.
Probably.
But here's why I brought up the defense. Because I think this goes to what you're talking about with Sirianni's decision. Because although I also would have taken the points in the fourth quarter, when you can play Monday morning quarterback and you think back and you're like, wait a second, this defense stinks. This defense is struggling. So when you put the ball back in Kirk Cousins' hands and give them an opportunity with over 1:30 left to drive down the field and score, well, maybe that was the wrong decision. See, and that's why I liked the 3rd and 3 pass to Barkley, because they were aggressive and said, you know what, we're not going to give the ball back because we don't trust our defense, and Barkley's got to catch that damn ball. And then we're not having this conversation. But what we would be talking about today, even if Barkley caught that ball, we'd still be talking about how bad the defense is.
The defense had given up 15 points. I understand your numbers here. I get it. It wasn't like they were getting creamed by the Falcons' offense. They had given up 15 points that were ahead by 6. And I can't expect my defense to stop a team from going 70 yards with no timeouts. As bad as the defense is, I can't expect that with an 85% chance to still win the game.
Again,
we're looking at the wrong things here.
Playing devil's advocate, because where the fans were upset was that they didn't go for it on fourth down at the 10-yard line. So to your point, would you rather Kirk Cousins have to go 70 yards for a touchdown in 1:40, or would you rather him have to go 60 yards, not 70 yards, what was it, a little bit more to get in the field goal range to tie with less time on the clock?
I am always going to take a lead that requires a touchdown to beat me, okay? I reduce it to simplicity. I got a 6-point lead, and my defense has to stop a team from going 70 yards to score a touchdown. And we're looking at this, and we're looking at that, and we're looking at that, and we're looking at this, and everybody said the season's over. They're 1-1. 610-632-0975 is how you get in the Mike Missanelli Show. This is the Mike Missanelli Show. Here's how you get in. 610-632-0975. It is a General Knowledge Wednesday, which I forgot to mention at the top. So the categories would be interesting. And we're playing for a good prize today. We're playing for that haunted house, 4 tickets to the haunted house.
Bates Motel
thing.
Supposed to be one of the best in the country.
Yeah, it's really cool. These are like $52 tickets. So we're giving you $200 worth of tickets.
Wait, how many we
for
give
General
out?
Knowledge? And 4. We're giving away 4 today to the winner.
We should give away 1, and they should go with me, you, and Ray.
Yeah, I don't have any desire.
See, Ray, Mike doesn't like the scary stuff. I like the scary
He doesn't
stuff.
either. Ray doesn't.
I once went through a different haunted house, mic'd up, for my high school as a promotional video for the haunted house.
Yeah.
I would say I don't enjoy being scared, but going back, everyone else was very entertained by my
Reactions?
Yeah, because I don't do very well inside there. So I'm not saying I'd be a terrible
I went on what was a hayride. I owned a hayride, and some ghoul jumped out of a cornfield and lurched at me, and I was ready to swing at it.
Wait, did you ever do when they used to do it at the Eastern State Pen?
Yeah.
It was great, man.
I've been there. Too.
Terror behind the walls?
Yeah,
I like
but,
that.
but it's a good prize for the people.
It is.
So
It's a great prize.
Plus, today we're going to have Robert Irvine on. Muscles Marinara. The English Muscles Marinara.
Yeah, he's not really. He's like more muscle shepherd's pie.
Muscle Shepherd's Pie. He's from, of course, Restaurant Impossible. He's coming on there. He's doing a birthday bash with the Phillies. It's his birthday, and so next Tuesday, the proceeds will benefit Robert Irvine Foundation, and he takes care of veterans and physical and mental well-being for service vets and first responders and their families. So that's a really good charity, and we're going to have him on to talk about that and his collaboration with the Phillies. So it's a meet and greet. The tickets to Phillies Chicago Cubs be food and drink, so you can get in on that. And Robert will tell you that when we have Robert on, Ray.
1:30.
1:30. Also. Ray, Ray plays the music that I have given him.
Yes.
Right? I believe Ray is reluctant to play one particular song that I have given him on my list of songs.
What, is it appropriate?
Because the name of the band is a little shaky. I believe.
Is this true, Ray?
Knowing Ray.
I actually don't know. So
Ray's he's a very protective producer. Yeah, I don't even know what the protocol would be for this. They're a legitimate band. They're a Philadelphia-oriented band, and right now they're hot. And they've got a couple really good songs out.
But the name of the band may be inappropriate.
The name of the band is a little shaky, and I don't know. Like they say it on the radio. I don't know if it would be appropriate for us to say the name of the band, even though it's the name of the band. But I think Ray is making a value judgment and purposely not playing that song, knowing that I would say the name of the band and that he might have to bleep me.
Let's make Ray say it instead.
I would love to think that I'm smart enough to go through this whole thought process.
I think you are. I think you are smart enough. I'm getting a little conservative lean from you when it comes to these matters to get stuff to get on the air because you've been trained that way.
You're giving a lot of credit to the training. Giving a lot of credit to the training on that one.
Maybe I am.
Excellent training.
Anyway, the 10 o'clock hour is brought to you by Window Nation. Take advantage of Window Nation's 50% off sale on all style windows, plus make no down payments with no payments and no interest for 12 full months. Call 866-90-NATION or visit windownation.com. Also, we'll have our Kelly Green Cash giveaway coming up at noon. It's a lot of stuff happening
and
today.
Sirianni.
We have Nick Sirianni's presser at 12:10?
Yeah, so probably
12:10, probably 12:20. We got all kinds of really. I don't like tardiness. And so here's the deal with General Knowledge, of course. You have to beat Ray. It's really simple. And I always make the audience the favorite over the young kid who may not be. But however, I think I've gone right into Ray's wheelhouse today with the topics. The topics will be General Knowledge Wednesday, but I looked at the questions. I think Ray can get them. Number 1 music hits of the 2010s. See, this could be in Ray's wheelhouse.
It's possible. I mean, he was born
music
in
in Ray's wheelhouse. So
let you have that one.
So that'll be at least 2 of the topics that we get through here. Okay, so again, I'm not a fan of Nick Sirianni. I'll tell you right now. I don't think he should have kept the job. However, the reality in front of me is that he's got the job. And so I got to judge him accordingly. And again, I hold the axe up high, but I don't swing it until it's absolutely necessary. And I think it's absurd to swing it now, especially when we just obsess over these two decisions that he made, which I don't think were conservative at all. And we also obsess the fact that they're 1-1 and they've got a couple tough games. If they're 1-3, the axe is coming down. The axe will. Trust me, the axe is here.
See,
a couple losses, it's coming down, and then it comes with a thud.
Now, the axe may be coming from you, but I don't believe for a second
So much good.
that Jeffrey Lurie or Howie Roseman would make a change.
No, I'm
at
not saying
1-3.
change. It's a metaphorical axe. It's not an axe that says we're going to fire him. It's an axe that says, okay, the heat is now totally on you, son.
And
The heat's not on him now. I don't have the heat on him now. No, I don't.
Well, I don't think the heat is on him from you, but it certainly is from the city.
It is, and I think it's absurd. See, this is I try to talk people off a ledge. I try to get them to think logically. You're talking about a team that's now 1-1. I look at power rankings; they're still in the top 7 power rankings.
Well, I think CBS has him 18th.
Oh,
don't
do they?
Ray?
CBS dropped them.
18th.
Oh, they're 18th. Well, you got
Yeah.
a power ranking has them 6th.
Yeah, most do, but CBS is that Pete Prisco that does
Yes.
that?
Yeah,
He hasn't been a
Prisco.
fan of them all preseason either.
Oh, that's why he was just looking for something.
I think he was. But here's the issue, Mike, and I'm with you. I don't want to overreact. It's 2 weeks. They're 1-1. But even if Saquon catches that football, and we're sitting here and we're 2-0, all of the problems that I saw over the first 2 weeks still exist. You still don't have a pass rush. You still can't stop another team's rushing attack. You still invested your money this offseason in free agents and trades that are not working out.
Listen, man, I'm just looking at this. I'm reading a story by Jeff McClain. Jeff comes on the morning show. I get it. And he's a very astute beat writer for the Eagles. But it's like Sirianni's conservative decision-making may be what turns up the heat on him the most. Why not be aggressive-minded and go for it on 4th down? Well, he was aggressive-minded and went for it on 3rd down. Why go for it on 4th down when you could take a 6-point lead where the other team has to score a touchdown now with no timeout? What is not making sense here? Would you not want to go up by 6? Would you want to make it easier for them to tie the score with a field goal?
I think what some people are saying is, and I could get behind this argument potentially. I liked the 3rd and 3 call. But if you run the ball there on 3rd and 3, you let the clock run all the way down, then you take the timeout, you come out on 4th and 2, 4th and 3, 4th and 1, whatever it is, and then you call that play to the Saquon Barkley.
The pass in that situation is a run. It is. All right, let's take a break. 610-632-0975. Let's start our general knowledge with our callers that are on hold right now on the Mike Missanelli Show. be the band that I'm talking about. And Ray, I think it's not played yet.
You
know,
tipped
I
me
gave it
off
to
at the
him.
break. So.
I gave it to him several weeks ago. I'm thinking, no, making a value judgment here. And it might be the right value judgment that he's making.
Maybe when he tries to search for that here, it gets blocked by the Wi-Fi. That's possible.
I don't think so. They're a mainstream band.
Yeah, but those words could get blocked. I don't
No,
know.
they're a mainstream band. How about Butthole Surfers?
Somebody said that in the YouTube chat.
There you go.
That's what they thought you
All
were.
right, no, they say that all the time.
That's what they thought you were saying.
No, that's not. This is a Philly band. This is a Philly band that's spawned from the streets of Philadelphia that is making a lot of waves in the indie alt scene, fronted by a chick.
You know, you still don't know. Do you, Ray?
Don't know?
No.
You guys are not plugged in.
Yeah, we're not
The
plugged in.
Philly music scene. All right, let's start it out. Let's go with Demetrius in North Philly. Demetrius, you're on 97.5 The Fanatic. What's up, Demetrius?
Hey, what's up, guys?
How you doing, man?
I'm doing all right. I'm just disappointed in that loss. So, I believe, given Sirianni's aggressive play style, we had two plays. We had that third down, and we could have ran on the fourth down if we didn't get that first down on the third down. Now, the play call for the play call for Saquon, he's got to make that catch. Okay, we got to start there. He makes $37 million. He has to make that catch as a running back. But because he didn't make that,
Yeah, sometimes guys that make $30 million don't make a catch. This just in. You know what I'm saying? I get it, but come on, man. You know, of course he has to make that catch. But you can't say because he makes $30 million, he's got to make the catch.
Oh, yeah, that wasn't my point. I was just throwing that in there. But you're right, though. But 3rd and 3 with a minute and something like a minute and 50 seconds left. You run the ball. Okay, you don't get it. You get 4th and 2, 4th and 1.
Mm-hmm.
The clock is still running. They cannot call timeout. So we have to look at it from a standpoint as we have to kill the clock, knowing that our defense may not be able to stop them.
Okay, they're going to get the ball back, no matter what you do, right? So,
Yeah.
okay, so why on earth would you not want to go up by 6 when the easiest thing for them to do is get it in field goal position?
I would rather kill the clock.
The clock's not going to be killed. They're still going to get a chance.
Well, he's talking about on 3rd down.
Yeah, I get it. You're not going to kill the entire
On
clock.
the third down,
They're
on the
still
third-
going to get
they
the
don't
ball
have any
back.
timeouts.
Yeah, but they're still going to get the ball back, and you don't make it. So, well, my point is,
we're killing the play clock. No,
no, you're not killing the whole clock. They're still going to get a chance to go back upfield if you don't make it on 4th
For
down.
how much time?
Well,
It's like 30 seconds.
but how far do they have to go to kick a field goal? So wouldn't you rather have them to go 85 yards to score a touchdown rather than 50 to kick a field goal?
So you don't think we could have got the 4th and 1 if we?
Well, I'm just saying if you don't get the 4th and 1, they still can kick a field goal to tie you.
Go 90-something yards.
But dude, you're not. They don't have to go 90-something yards. They're going to half that. To
He
kick
wanted
a field goal.
He wanted general knowledge.
Oh, he did?
Yeah.
No, he was annoying me.
He was annoying you. But, Mike,
He wasn't understanding what the situation was. No coach is not going to go up by 6 to make it harder for the other team with no timeouts to score a touchdown rather than kick a field goal. It's so much harder to score a touchdown.
I'm with you. I think it was the right decision to kick the field goal there. But just because I know where other fans are coming from here, when you kick the field goal and then you kick off and it's a touchback, the Falcons get the ball at the 30. So they got to go 70 yards to score a touchdown. If you would have gone for it on 4th down and not got it, they would have gotten the ball on about the 9-yard line.
Yeah.
So they still would have had to have gone probably 60 or 70 yards to get into field goal range.
60 is a lot easier than going 90.
And a field goal is a lot easier than a touchdown.
Like,
But-
with Young Wei Koo, who's a good kicker.
What people are saying, and again, I like the 3rd down call. I like the decision on 4th down. But when you play Monday morning quarterback, or in this case Tuesday morning quarterback, if they would have ran the ball on 3rd down, you take 40 seconds off the clock. Now there's 40 seconds left. You go for it again. You don't get it. They got to go 60 yards to get in the field goal range in about 38 seconds. That's where fans are coming from.
I get it. But the base logic is, would you rather have them have to score a touchdown then kick a field goal to tie it.
I would.
On what world would an NFL coach not take that?
The other side of that one would be, is the other team going to be more aggressive down 6 than down 3 because they're playing for a tie versus they have to play for a win? I think that the idea that people wouldn't want to go up 6 is the idea that the other team is now going to be aggressive going for the touchdown, whereas when you have that good of a kicker, are the Falcons going to be pressing it down the field as much because they think they can tie you up and tie that game? Mm-hmm. I don't know how Zach Robinson's going to play call. I don't know if it's going to change when he's down 6 versus down 3. I haven't seen enough of what Zach Robinson is as a coach. Mm-hmm. But I think that side of the fan base right now that's upset with going up 6 is thinking, all right, now you're forcing them to go for the touchdown with a defense that got no pass rush, and offensively they're just kind of torching you down the field. Again, you saw that last drive play out, so today you're sitting there saying, well, of course you would want to just go for it because you don't know what the defense is going to do. But I think that's why people would rather be up 3 than up 6 in that scenario.
Someone said on chat, look at the brain on Ray.
Get the big brain on that.
Yeah.
Okay.
Pulp Fiction. Right?
Since I have you ever seen Pulp Fiction?
No.
What? Are you serious?
No.
Wow, that is a major violation.
I can't proceed.
He's got so much homework to do with these movies.
Do you ever watch a movie?
Not a ton, no.
No?
No, not really.
Okay.
Big Kahuna Burger? Ray has no idea.
Can I have some of your beverage to wash down this tasty burger?
That's one of the best scenes, man.
Yeah. What does he call the kid on the couch? Hey, just chill. What do you call him? It's the name of a new wave band.
Oh, I can't remember now.
Hey, flock of seagulls. chill. All right. So, right, since I muffed the first our first caller, I apologize. If you want to call back, I'll give you a general knowledge question.
Dimitri,
our first call. Yeah, I just got a little heavy on the trigger. So we'll let Ray start off general knowledge. Ray, this is general knowledge category. You could go up 1-0. I have high hopes for you for this particular general knowledge contest today. What European company is the world's biggest furniture seller?
Ooh.
European company, biggest furniture seller. You give me the look like you know what's what here over there.
I can't tell you if I got it or not. You have to go to me for a lifeline and just trust.
All right, sure. Let's get the early 1-0 lead.
You want to no. Then
now
your first question, I can't give you the lifeline.
What are you talking about? You can't make rules after the fact.
The commissioner says that the first question, no. He can't get on the board with a lifeline. The lifeline is more of a desperate situation.
Okay,
Mike's
so I got to go
changing
for
the
the
rules.
fourth
This
down.
is an easy
I
question.
can't take the field goal. I got to go for the touchdown here?
I can't give you the lifeline
Can I
on
give
this
him a
freaking
hint?
question.
Can
No,
I
you
give him a
can't.
hint?
No, you can't give him a hint. Ray, for crying out loud, what European company is the world's biggest furniture seller? There's 1,000 people answering this question out there.
And I'm very happy for those 1,000 people. I'm 24. My furniture's handing me
This has
down.
nothing to do with you
should
being
know this.
24.
It's actually at 24. You should know this.
IKEA.
Yes.
Oh, sweet.
Why was that so difficult for you?
Because I'm sorry, IKEA doesn't jump to the brain on
How does it
furniture.
not jump to the brain? It's the only European furniture company
Yes,
out there. There's commercials all the time on
I
it.
always think about where IKEA is headquartered. That's the first thing that jumps to my mind. That's a European
I believe they're
company.
Swedish, right?
Where's IKEA headquartered? In Kansas?
Aren't they Swedish?
It's IKEA with Swedish names.
Oh, yes. Sorry, I forgot. All my Swedish knowledge just dropped out of my
Wait,
brain
you've never
right there.
heard of a name of an IKEA furniture that's a weird Swedish name?
And they
It's
sell their,
IKEA. I don't think about what the name is about. It's IKEA.
No.
Okay. Do I
and
need
they sell
something?
Swedish meatballs at the cafeteria.
What is going
in
on
IKEA.
with the youth of today, Bill? What is up with the youth of today?
I don't know. I'm looking through the YouTube chat. Everybody got
There's
this.
1,000,000 24-year-olds who can answer this question. Ray, a highly intelligent guy spawned from the halls of Temple University. Can't get this?
Landry said it's because Ray is more of a West Elm furniture guy.
I walked into a West Elm once, looked at one price tag, walked out.
Yeah, a little pricey. You know what bothers me about IKEA, though?
Everything bothers me about IKEA. What doesn't bother me about it?
Well, they could make the furniture. Just make it a regular screwdriver. Why do I got to use these little Allen wrenches to put the whole damn thing
Because
together?
they don't go by the regular screwdriver system over there. They go by their own system.
See, I think
Well,
they want
have
to make it
adapt
difficult.
to your American tastes.
Have you ever put together? I bought my kids 2 beds that had the drawers underneath. It took me days to put that thing together with the Allen wrenches.
It's not easy. It's not easy to put this together. I bought maybe one thing for Key in my whole life. It was a desk way back in the day.
And you put it together with the Allen wrench?
I put it together, yeah.
Yeah, it's a pain in the butt.
Yep. But it was an easy question. Jamie in Washington, D.C., you're on 97.5 The Fanatic. Jamie.
Hey guys, how you doing?
What's up, Jamie?
Thanks for taking the call. I'm gonna be positive here. I'm gonna talk everybody off the ledge. I was upset yesterday on the Tuesday hangover. I thought it was a winnable game. We look at the X's and O's. They should have definitely handled that team, particularly at home. However, when we look at this week moving ahead and we look at our loss in week 2, there are people that have to learn the system. You know, you look at the 3 illegal man downfields with the RPO. It looks like the NFL officials want to definitely keep an eye out on that with all these scrambling quarterbacks and these throws. Kellen Moore, he's a brand new offensive coordinator. I liked his schemes when he was having to overcome the loss of A.J. Brown. A.J. Brown's a big piece of this team. We need A.J. Brown if we're going to go where everyone wants us to go. Defensively, not aggressive enough, but let's give them some time. Let's see what they do this week against New Orleans. It's only week 2. We're 1-1. We're 0-0 in the division. We weren't going to go 17-0, so let's just get over that and move forward.
All right, so you sound fairly optimistic here.
I am.
Okay, now you got to tell me, why do you think that things are going to improve?
So I don't think they got as many reps as normal teams, or I don't even know if week 1 is considered part of the regular season now with the way that they're not allowing players. You know, teams don't want their players to play in preseason. We go on the road. We easily could have lost that first game to Green Bay. Let's not have amnesia. If we're down 0-2, we might be having a different talk right now. Does it hurt to lose at home? Absolutely. Does it hurt to see a defense that doesn't seem to have gotten over the hangover of the dramatic collapse of last season? Sure. New defense.
Well, a lot of new people there and a new defensive coordinator. But yeah, so nothing. Well, that's why I'm asking you. What do you see that's going to improve here? You think the Fangio is going to get him to tied in, or you think these players are going to improve with the pass rush? Like, what are you seeing?
So defensively, I think the linebackers are going to have to figure out if they're going to blitz or not. There wasn't a lot of blitzes. I do think that he's going to press more. When it comes to the defensive line, got to be patient with it. Sweat was very aggressive out there. Huff is a multi-million-dollar man, but let's give him an opportunity. You know, I just don't think that everyone is there. There's all that toxicity of social media where you can always armchair quarterback and send these comments. You're still going to watch the game on Sunday against New Orleans. So, are you truly that upset about it? Or
yeah, they're upset, but they're going to watch. Yeah, I agree. They're not bailing. This is all like bravado they throw out there. I'm just curious to know why they're doing it so soon.
I still like Barkley. The other thing is, you guys probably hinted at it before. 99 times he's catching that ball. Get Goddard more involved. But it's week 2. It almost was a trap game, and that's how I kind of felt about it. Looking at it, everyone was saying how bad Kirk Cousins was on Monday night and all these things. It just seemed like a trap game.
Yeah. All right. Let me give you. You ready for your general knowledge question, Jamie?
Absolutely.
All right, Jamie, how old of a person are you?
I'm 45 years young.
Okay. Well, then this is a question about hits of the 2010s. You keep up with your music?
Probably older music. I'm an old soul, but go ahead.
Okay. Well, this, Ray may slay you on this category. Then let's go. The song is from 2019, and it's called "The Highest in the Room." Who did it?
I have no.
You're out. Right, I'm gonna give you a chance to steal this. "Highest in the Room," 2019 song, very recent.
Travis Scott?
That's correct.
Wow.
How about Ray going up 2-0?
I don't know where the furniture's made.
Looky
But I could do a
here.
little Travis Scott.
Uh-oh, we got a
He knows his
Woj
music.
bomb. We got a Woj bomb, folks.
It's a big Woj bomb.
It actually deals with Woj. Woj is leaving ESPN to become the general manager of St. Bonaventure men's basketball.
chasing the dream, I guess. He said he's out of the news industry.
Well,
entirely.
you know what? That was probably so stressful. You had to keep up every minute of every day, and you got that Shams always nipping at your heels. I guess he just got tired of it all, man.
Yeah.
He's a St. Bonaventure grad,
I think that'd be awesome.
and he goes back to his school to be the GM of men's basketball.
I say it all the time. If I wasn't here working with you, Mike, which is a true dream, the dream job would be general manager for a professional sports team. But to be able to go back to your alma mater and do it, that's pretty cool.
That is pretty cool. So congratulations to him. He's getting a little older. The stress level, it's like, enough. I don't want to be digging in every minute of every day here.
I couldn't imagine that.
I'm sure that job is paying considerably less than what he's making.
Yeah, but the stress level, certainly.
Many games at St. Bonaventure. Temple played them a couple times when I was obviously covering college basketball, and it is the most godforsaken place that you could go to school. It is cold and nasty, and there's one road that's always icy that drives into Olean, New York, and you have to land in Buffalo and make that drive.
Yeah, it doesn't sound fun.
And I remember having a conversation with the St. Bonaventure assistant coach. And I go, wow, hey, yeah, it's tough on you guys here. He goes, yeah, it's really tough to recruit players here. And I go, tough to recruit players? How do you recruit students? Seriously. In this place, good Lord. It's horrible. All due respect to Woj.
Yeah, I wouldn't want to
go
live
to
up there.
school there. In Buffalo, in the Buffalo area. What would entice you to go?
Buffalo wings.
Buffalo wings.
Pretty much all they have, right?
The entire school year is frozen.
Yeah, I couldn't do it. I couldn't do it. I mean, you got Syracuse up there, too. But they're able to
Well,
recruit.
Syracuse is it's a kind of a nice square contained campus that you can get lost in. The town of Syracuse, with smokestacks all over the place, is not that appealing. But
That was my
The campus is nice.
Syracuse was my only Division I recruiting trip when I was in high school.
Oh, you could have gone to Syracuse?
I don't think I could have gone there. They must have asked the wrong kid to come for a visit.
How about Bill going?
My junior
playing
year.
in the Carrier Dome. There he is, our Bill.
Yeah. I got a tour of the Carrier Dome.
Give me
Very
the chant one more time.
No, we're not doing that again. That was a one-day thing.
What are you embarrassed?
No, I told Ray my freshman year they did the cheerleaders did the B-I-L-L-Y.
I know. You said it on the air. I want to hear it again.
We should just cut it. That should be a drop.
All right, listen, man.
Pretty long drop.
It's General Knowledge Wednesday today, and we're giving away a pair of adult combo tickets for the Bates Motel. Prepare for Halloween thrills at the Bates Motel. It's one of the most frightening haunted attractions in the country. It's the Fanatics deal of the week. Get two. I said four before. I was mistaken. You get two adult combo tickets to the Bates Motel in Glen Mills, PA for the price of one. Get it while supplies last at 975thefanatic.com/deals. But that's what we're also giving away today for the winner in the audience. If the audience now down 0-2 can slay Ray on General Knowledge.
They got to get going.
610-632-0975. How you get in? Mike Missanelli Show continues. Missanelli Show, the 11 o'clock hour of the program is brought to you by, I can never find my sheets. I swear to God.
I think this one's Grungo Law.
So many sheets over here, and I always lose the ones that are important to me.
Ray, isn't this the Grungo Law, 11 o'clock
Right, you
hour?
want to read that?
Yeah, it's brought to you by Grungo Law. I'm going to scroll down to where the read is. There it is. Your law firm when you need help because of an injury. Pray for peace, prepare for trial. GrungoLaw.com.
100 pieces of paper. I circled all the hours. Now
And while we're at it, while you're looking for it, your 10 o'clock hour was brought to you by Window Nation.
I
Take
said
advantage
that
of Window
already.
Nations.
Didn't
All
I
right.
say the 10 o'clock
I
hour?
think you did.
I said the 10 o'clock
missed that
hour,
one. All right.
which
Fair
makes
enough.
it even more perplexing that I lost the sheet.
And he did the fanatic
There it
deal
is.
of the
I
week.
got it. All right.
You're 2 for 3,
I
Mike.
got all kinds of papers that are buried here. Ray chunks me up with a lot of paper.
Actually,
Yeah.
I said you're 2 for 3, but you also hung up on Port Dimitri, who wanted the
I did,
general
Dimitri. I
knowledge.
apologize to you, man. You call back, get a free call. It's 11 o'clock hour. It's Grungo Law, your law firm when you need help because of an injury. Pray for peace, prepare for trial. GrungoLaw.com. Here's what I'll say in the top of the 11 o'clock hour. I believe that Nick Sirianni has lost the majority of the fan base.
Well, I think he lost the majority of the fan base in the offseason.
Yeah, I think they were waiting, and now they got one excuse to lose it again. And I believe that the press has the same view of him.
Well, you saw.
And I think it's because of this. The press is offended by his happy horse bleep and his Harry High School thing. Now, so they look at him more critically. So they couldn't wait to turn up the screws here with, for instance, like this Reuben Frank story. I don't know what. Maybe Reuben feels offended that Sirianni does the Harry High School thing. I don't know. But these
That
guys,
one surprised me.
These guys are used to covering guys that are a little more professional in their approach to NFL coaching. They're 1-1, and he made two decisions that both could be justified. Both of them could be justified. Like, it wasn't a horrible decision that he made to go for it when the analytics said to go for it on 4th and 4. And it wasn't a horrible decision that he made with a play that was wide open that would have sealed the game. And yet, the knives are out. And so I read stuff like this. They lost to the Jets after leading with 46 seconds left. They lost to the Seahawks after leading with 28 seconds left. They lost to the Cardinals after leading with 32 seconds left. And now they lost to the Falcons after leading with 38 seconds left. Sometimes you get beat. But in 4 of their last 7, the Eagles have led with under 2 minutes left. So when it keeps happening, you have to look straight at the head coach and wonder why.
And as much as I've defended Sirianni, I don't disagree with Reuben Frank that bad teams find ways to lose games, and that does start at the top. But he says that the only common denominator is Nick Sirianni because they've changed coordinators, they've changed players.
Oh, here comes the Howie thing.
I still
Here
think
comes the Howie thing.
yes,
There it
there's
is.
another common denominator.
I know. Every once an hour, Howie Roseman has to be
can't-
referenced.
Because you look at those losses. The Seattle game, when you let Drew Lock go 70 yards in less than a minute. Drew Lock. Your defense wasn't good enough.
Well, okay, but you also have a coordinator that supposedly can make chicken salad out of chicken poo-poo.
Well, that's what they want him to do, I guess. But that's the thing is, look, Sirianni should not be absolved of blame. The buck stops with the head coach. He needs to be better. There's no doubt about it. But we also can't ignore the fact that the defensive personnel struggled last year, and I know it's only 2 weeks, but all of these acquisitions, you're feeling good about Bryce Huff, you're feeling good about Devin White, you're feeling good about Nolan Smith, you're feeling good about Jordan Davis. Are you feeling good about Chauncey Gardner-Johnson? These were all the acquisitions that were made this offseason. Now, I like Quinyon Mitchell, but the guy's a rookie. He's going to make mistakes. And if you go back and watch the game, in that 2-minute drill where Kirk Cousins is trying to get down the field, Quinyon did make a mistake. They're in a cover 2. He got high load. Quinyon takes the guy in the flat instead of getting deeper so he can't throw it over his head to Darnell Mooney down the sidelines. That's going to happen with a rookie. But you look around the other players on this defense, and they're Howie Roseman acquisitions that don't look like they were the right moves. Only 2 weeks, don't want to overreact, but I don't like what I saw, even if they would have won this game.
Yeah, well, here's what I can say assertively. That Sirianni, in order for him to win back support from the fan base and the press, is going to have to do something extraordinary. Which you look at, what is extraordinary? The winning division, to me, would be extraordinary.
Well, you didn't
Right?
think that before.
No, listen. You know how I feel about the guy.
Yeah.
But I'm not going to sit here. I'm not going to sit here and, like, I don't have any grounds to assassinate the guy right now, and it seems like everybody else does.
Well, here's what I was saying all offseason, that the only way that Nick Sirianni could win back the majority of the fan base that wanted him gone is if he can show that he can guide the ship through choppy waters, that when adversity hits, he will keep this team together, because you didn't see it last year.
Yeah. So that wasn't enough for you?
Well, I'm saying
You saw it
adversity
last year?
Adversity hit now.
So adversity
already
didn't
hit.
last year.
He didn't battle through adversity last year.
Okay, that's what I mean.
Yeah, when
So
adversity hit.
that wasn't enough for you to see.
No.
So I'm not doing a good enough
Yeah,
job.
see, this is where you and I disagree.
Yeah, you would have made the decision
that's
last
totally
year.
enough for me to see. But then since they brought him back, I'm disarmed now, and I'm disarmed until things really go bad. 1-3 to me is like okay, but now I got to be as fair as I can. They decided to bring him back. I can't do anything about it. So now it's just my eyeballs viewing what's going on, and what I viewed was really one thing that he didn't have anything to do with, which was the defense let them go 70 yards down the field, score a touchdown.
I'm with you on that.
Let's go to Will in Levittown. Will, you're on 97.5 The Fanatic. What's up, Will?
What's going
Will.
on, Mike? How
What's
are you
happening?
today?
How you doing?
I'm doing all right.
Good.
My main point of conversation is what can be done schematically for the Eagles' run defense to be any better, because it's brutal to watch.
I'm not as smart as a defensive coordinator who's been in the business for a lot of years. So I'm going to have to leave it up to
Don't sell
him.
yourself short. I wouldn't sell yourself short.
I mean, I don't know. Listen, the linebackers got to fill quick. The defensive tackles, to me, really are the key to the whole thing. And the team was built on these defensive tackles being able to do that.
And
I don't know. I mean, look, I read the paper. The one guy shows up late for a function, and they can't start him in the game. That's not good. That's not a good
Carter.
Yeah, I mean, this is the culture that the head coach is supposed to build. You got this knucklehead showing up late for something.
I wanted them to draft Georgia guys and guys from the SEC, but that's not working out either.
Well, I tell you what, Howie loved to soak himself in that accolade. Yeah, we got to go. We go to the right place. But guess what? Hasn't worked so far for you, cuz.
It has not.
Oh, he loves them Bulldogs.
He loves bragging about that. He likes to pluck talent from the SEC. He brags about it.
Yeah, and to your question, Will, about how do they schematically try to stop the run, I'd have to go back and watch the game again. I haven't had a chance. But last year, unless they had 5 down linemen on the field, they struggled against the run. So do they need to switch more to a 5-man front? But the problem with that is it's now going to expose you in the passing game a little bit more. I don't know what they do, but
Wasn't it 2 years ago we were the best run defense in the league or close to it? How do you fall this far?
I don't know. It's a good question.
Well, no, in 2022, they were 16th. Under Jonathan Gannon, the year they went to the Super Bowl, they were 16th. They did have the best passing defense. So they didn't mind getting beat on the ground as much, even though they were middle of the pack. Last year against the run, they started out strong. They only gave up 63 yards a game through the first 9, and then things fell
That's
apart.
what I remember. Okay.
Yeah, things fell apart after that.
Yeah.
Now it's been 11 straight where every team has rushed for over 100.
It's unbelievable. All right, well, general knowledge
After
now.
that Buffalo overtime.
Will, you need a victory here because Ray's up 2-0. You ready?
I'm going to try.
All right, these are compound words. You know what compound word is? It's a word formed by combining 2 shorter words. So if I say to you, battle between military planes, what would that be? 2 words.
Air fight.
Air fight? That would be incorrect. It would be a dog fight.
Between military planes.
Dog fight. I was in a dog fight.
I wouldn't have
Remember
got that.
Top Gun?
I wouldn't have got it. Ray, would you have gotten that?
No, but now that he says remember Top Gun, I would have felt really upset if I didn't.
The mentor was telling Tom Cruise about the dog fight he was in. Come on, man.
2-0
Dog
Ray.
fight.
2-0 Ray. We're getting those Bates Motel tickets, Ray. These are coming to us.
Oh, listen, I know you think I'd pick you in terms of a pairing here.
Was that a hard question?
I thought it was
Battle between military planes, dog fight?
No, I don't think it's a particularly difficult question.
Isn't that a
I wouldn't
difficult
have got
question, is it? Compound word, dog fight. He said air fight. When have you ever heard air fight? You hear air fight? It's a dog fight.
Yeah, I wouldn't have put two and two together that it was a
Really?
military fight. Like, I thought a dog fight was
Then you apparently haven't studied Top Gun very well.
I have not. I will admit it. I have
You're not a
not.
big dialogue studier, are you? You a dialogue studier, movie lines and stuff?
I am, but would you really say the Top Gun dialogue was as great?
But the Top Gun dialogue was talking about a particular dog fight. It was like an important dialogue in the movie.
I haven't seen that in a while, Goose.
610-632-0975. You know, there was a little racial element in that. You know what it was?
In Top Gun?
There was one black guy in the whole movie who was allowed in a plane, right? You know, they had call signals.
Yeah.
It was Maverick, it was Goose, and it was
Iceman.
Iceman. The one black guy was named Sundown. Yeah, that's
I get
come
it.
on now. Come on. 610-632-0975. Mike Missanelli should back after this.
Yeah, they
the
came
problem?
after me yesterday.
What's the problem?
I said I put my coffee in the refrigerator. I was killed for that. I was called a fake Italian for that. I was told that that is a violation, that you don't do that. So I went home, and I took my can of Illy out of the refrigerator, and I turned it around, and I read the back. And you know what it says? Preferably refrigerate after opening, Mike.
It's the wrong thing to do. I don't care what the.
You going to disagree with the company of Illy?
Well, the majority of the coffee world, I don't know what Illy's thinking. Maybe their coffee is. I had no idea, but it's a foregone conclusion that you don't put it in. All right, here comes the guy. Got to play. Here comes, Bill. Shot about your Illy. All right, here we go. Let's go. This is the wrong version. I don't know where you got this version. This is the wrong version of this song. It's into the key. Yeah, this is the wrong version. Is this a remix or something?
But the music
This is the wrong
stations down the
version.
hall had.
But can you both apologize for calling me a fake
No.
Italian yesterday?
No, that's it's illogical.
If anything, this is
It
a
is. I don't
horrible
know why
endorsement
it
of the
says
coffee
on
you
the
drink.
Illy. That's a violation on the Illy. You never put coffee in the refrigerator.
I think Illy is an Italian company.
It is. So they're. I don't know what they're talking about. Maybe they don't know their coffee as well as the Colombians.
Well, I'm sticking with my Illy on this, and I want apologies from everyone in the YouTube chat.
Oh, stop it.
Go after him a little more.
Any
YouTube chat.
connoisseur will tell you don't put coffee in the refrigerator. Let's get a barista to call in. 610-622-0975. So all right, so let's stay with this music theme here. This is because I want to really understand this concept. This band, this Philly band of ladies are hot in the indie and alt scene.
Someone guessed it in the chat.
Okay, so the chat, they guessed it. Because they have a song out called Sometimes, which is a really good song. So the FCC thing is you can't say, you can't describe someone's genitalia if it is their actual genitalia. Like you could say, like the Sopranos character, his name was what? Big what?
Yeah. Can you say that?
You can say the guy's name. It's not referring to the genitalia.
Like you can say Pussycat.
Correct. Or I think you could say the character's name, Big Pussy.
Yeah. So one of the best stories is my grandmother, who passed away, was real into The Sopranos, and she would call my dad sometimes. Did you see what they did to Big Pussy last night?
Okay, so that's how they got around there, right? And so, but this is really a perplexing little situation because it's not technically the human genitalia with the name of this band. And when I hear it, they describe the name of the band all the time. So are we allowed to say the name of the band? I need some guidance on this. Now, I'm not going to say it without guidance.
I now know what you're talking about because I went through. The song is in the system. It's in the
song in the
rotator,
system. You
so
haven't
it
played
should-
it yet, and I'm thinking you didn't play it for this reason.
I'm thinking it's been played before and you missed
Really?
it. Yeah. It's
All
in the
right, well,
rotator.
any
We've
event,
cycled through the
you
rotator a
give
couple
the- you
times.
give the first name
of the band is Mannequin
Bleep.
Bleep. Now, can you actually say that? Or is that a name that you cannot actually say? And if you can't say it, why would they name themselves that? I'm thinking their protocol, yeah, you can say it, and this is why you can get our popularity and our name out there in the mainstream.
Well, do any of our
When they're written about in their real name.
Beasley stations here play that band? Do we know?
I don't even know what kind. I would assume. Well, I don't know. Do we have any? No, they're
Like
probably,
WMMR's not
probably
playing
like classic rock stations that Beasley owns. So
I'm just curious if they have said it. I don't know.
I need some guidance from the powers that be. Because when the song comes on, I'm going to say,
Okay.
well, that was
You know,
What?
you know John Kruk on Twitter?
no.
All right, John Kruk just tagged us.
Okay.
And he said, you should be good because WXPN says it all the time.
Really? Okay. Well, there you go. There's a station that plays avant-garde music.
He says they say it all the time. Now, I don't know whether you should trust Twitter on this.
They're a really good band, and I like the Philly angle of them. In fact, I saw a Philly angle band last night, War on Drugs. Spectacular. With the National. What a concert last night.
Right. Did you get invited to the concert with Mike last night?
Did not. Then again, I slept for most of the
Oh, yeah, Ray
afternoon.
needed a night off. Rainey tonight. I got no invite, Mike. Or Ray. I'm talking
Mike knows you
It's
didn't get
not-
an
it's
invite.
not your scene, man. You didn't know who War on Drugs or The National was.
very
Plus,
upset.
plus, the opening band was Lucius, who you know nothing about, fronted by two ladies.
Well, me and Chef Irvine are going to dinner tonight. You're not invited.
Chef Irvine is coming on in a little bit. About that.
How about it?
Big muscles. 610-632. Bill and Chef Irvine got to talk muscle talk, right?
Yeah, I want to ask him what
Today.
his routine is for his triceps.
What's the? Are you throwing around the free weights? Yeah.
Dude, I've been out of commission since I hurt my back, man. It's been a week since I've been in the gym.
No.
Oh, they're
don't know
missing
what
you.
to
Oh
do.
my God. 610-632-0975. Back after this. Our deal of the week is a goodie. 2 adult combo tickets to the Bates Motel for the price of 1. That's 2 tickets for $52. Prepare for Halloween thrills at the Bates Motel. It's one of the most frightening haunting attractions in the country. It's located in Glen Mills, PA. This exclusive offer, get it while supplies last. It's at our website, 975thefanatic.com/deals. And we're also giving a pair of those tickets away today to an audience member selected at random who gets a correct answer. So you get a correct answer today, you get 2 tickets to Fantasy Fest, to Fan Fest. I'm sorry, Fan Fest. Fantasy Fest is down the street at Cheerleaders. Oh, no.
A little bit different of a vibe.
It's Fan Fest, and all you have to do is defeat Ray. Ray is up, what, 2-1?
2-0, right?
No, I think 2-1. The guy.
Well, that's right.
He had a correct answer.
2-1, and you still have all 3 lifelines remaining.
Yes, he does. You love those lifelines.
I do. I like getting in on the competition.
Yeah. So when you call and you have some substance to give us, and there's plenty of substance now with the Eagles. We didn't even mention the Phillies. They had a win last night behind Zach Wheeler as usual, and Milwaukee gets put back on their heels a little bit.
That's all they had to do.
Gets reduced.
All they had to do was win 1 in Milwaukee, so we're good.
Yeah.
But let me ask you, because Rob Thompson was asked about it last night, how much do they celebrate when they clinch?
Minor celebration. But the problem is Garrett Stubbs in that freaking locker room. So
I think tonight's
turn
like a
it into
toast.
something.
Yeah, tonight would be
Just the postseason.
Just the postseason.
Yeah,
magic number for the.
That's a foregone conclusion. So I don't know if you celebrate that.
I think that's a toast right there.
What's the magic number for the NL East now? 4 or 3?
Down to 4.
The NL East isn't even a big deal to celebrate. The number 1-2 seed is.
See, now
That's where you go. Celebrate.
Here's my thing with it.
Uh-huh.
I don't need to see them get so drunk that you're hungover the next day and you have a bad outing. But you being a baseball guy, you understand. 162-game season is a marathon. Mm-hmm. Making the playoffs, winning the division, all of these things should be celebrated. I don't think that there's anything wrong with the team.
A team that's been there before.
Yeah, but it's still.
I don't know. To me, it's like not touching the conference championship for a hockey player.
But then how far are you taking this? Because if they make the playoffs and they win a series.
They've been in the playoffs before. They've been a wild card team before. So to me, the point of celebration is the number 1 or number 2 seed. You haven't done that before.
All right, you celebrate that. Well, now let's say you go to the playoffs. They win the divisional series.
Celebrate that.
You celebrate, like, even though you've been there before, you celebrate.
You celebrate that. The playoffs, once you get to the playoffs, the significance is you're achieving. But you knew for a long time you're going to be a playoff team. You knew for a long time you're going to win a division.
So you wouldn't
didn't know
celebrate
you were going to
NL
be
East.
the 1 and number 2 team. So that's celebration worthy.
Yeah, but they haven't won the division since, what, 2011?
Yeah, the division. Does winning the division matter? I mean, you win a division, you're still a wild card in this setup.
True. I think they should celebrate it. When they win the NL East, which is going to happen.
They're going to celebrate it because Mr. Overalls will come in with some kind of 24-pack. You know?
Yeah, I just don't want to see.
This is his moment. This is next couple
why he's
months.
here. You're right. This is the whole reason Stubbs is on the team.
Mr. Overalls will generate the celebration.
And then he'll catch the next day.
Exactly. He will because it'll be the hangover game.
The Overalls are being a little oversaturated now. Every game you go to.
Don't get me started. They were saturated as soon as he put them on.
Well, you got them at Phillies games. You got them at Eagles games now.
Yeah, I know.
That's a thing now is the Overalls.
Coming up, we got the news at noon at 12 and some interesting little news combos. But the big news is Woj is leaving the industry. And, you know who's got a bottle of Cristal in front of him?
Shams.
Exactly.
No competition for Shams
exactly.
now.
And he's going to a new entity. Nick Sirianni, interesting. 12:10 press conference. We'll see how he addresses this. Intense criticism on him. Whew.
Are we doing our drinking game?
Bailing out of him with the right.
How many rights? How many Harry high school references?
We should play a bell.
Yeah, we should ding it.
We should get a bell.
The button may break.
Yeah, that's where in live time. And Robert Irvine, the muscle man's the chef who's got a thing going to Phillies. He's coming up at 1:30. Bill and him they're going to talk protein powder. And
well, he has a whole line of protein bars, I think, too.
Of course.
Yeah.
What do you take? I take whey protein.
Isn't it funny making fun of people in shape? Isn't that a hilarious thing to do?
Hey, Robert. I know you're colossal size, but do you wear large, stretchy shirts?
I had somebody yell at me at Xfinity Live. That's definitely a large.
Do you like to stretch it over your flesh?
Now, this is a large. This isn't too tight. You know what this is?
Go ahead.
Is it too tight? No,
No, we won't get into it. Let's get back to the phones. We got to get back to the phones.
All right, let's
A
go.
lot of people want to weigh in on the Eagles.
To Deshaun in Norwood. Deshaun, you're on 97.5 The Fanatic. Deshaun.
Hey, how you doing, Mike?
What's up, Deshaun? How you doing?
I'm good. First of all, we got to take those points early, man. Like, there's no way we go for that 4th and 4 right there early in the game. Second drive.
Well, listen, at the time, I would have taken the points. But again, the coach, this is why they have a total analytics department. Not a guy. They have a department who is advising on all these decisions. They are talking to the head coach in his headset. And that's what they're going to go by.
But they didn't go by it in the fourth quarter.
No, they didn't. But early on, they did. So, I don't know. What do you want me to say? I hear you, but the analytics now went out.
Yeah, I stay consistent on one aspect. Analytics, or you're not going with the analytics. At least stay consistent the whole game. You know what
I
I'm saying?
assume that the time of the game influenced those analytics where they went for it instead of kicking the field goal.
Yeah. Even though we lost, I do think we're going to beat the Saints next week, though.
You do?
Yeah, I do.
They're going to go into New Orleans. That team averaging 40-plus points
Yeah.
against this defense.
Yep. I think this team, man, they got fire under the butt right now. You know what I'm saying? They took that bad loss for no reason.
Oof.
You know what I'm saying? Really get everybody's head on their shoulders, man, you know?
Do we have a line on that game yet?
Do I have a line?
We haven't checked the line on the game.
I
What
think the
is- what is
Saints
it?
were favored by 2.5.
That's it?
Let me check again.
Oh, that's an Eagles line. You might be right, Sean.
What is it? What's the line?
2.5?
Saints are
Yeah,
favored by
I
2.5.
I like it.
Oof.
See, the Saints, right? Because we really didn't let any big truck plays until we went too high safety. I don't know why we went too high safety on that last drive. I feel like the defense, the rest of the game was just good enough to stop them. But they really didn't let any truck plays up the whole game until we went into too high safety. And I feel like all the Saints, I mean, they got Kamara, he's good. But they've really been looking for them truck plays, and that's how they've been beating these
Yeah, but
teams.
it's like, don't get beat. That's what they're telling their D. Don't get beat.
Yeah,
don't
but-
get beat. And you put guys on their heels.
But, Deshaun, to your point about the chunk plays, the other thing the Saints have done extremely well this season is run the football. They're averaging 185 yards a game. That's top 3 in the NFL. And where have the Eagles also struggled? Against the run. So that concerns me.
That's true. I mean, we did stop Bijan from getting 100 and no touchdowns. So I'll be okay if we do the same thing with Kamara.
Yeah, I'm not feeling it. All right, let me give you a general knowledge question here because we'll see if the audience can tie the leader, who is Ray. What do the letters FC stand for in Manchester United FC?
SC
F as in Frank. FC.
Football Club.
Correct.
Good
Hold
job
on a
right
second.
there.
There he goes. Deshaun from Norwood ties the score on Ray.
You know what we have here? A dog fight, Mike.
We do have a dog fight. All right, Ray, are you ready?
Yeah.
What European city hosted the Summer Olympics in 1992?
Ooh, 1992.
Oh, great city.
Athens?
Barcelona. Correct?
That was the dream team, Ray.
Right? Barcelona's the right answer.
That's correct. Uh-oh.
Athens was
Ray with the ziggy.
04. I think
04?
Athens was 04.
Yeah.
Yeah. What's that mean?
The dream team, Barcelona. Chuck Barkley walking the streets. Nobody recognizing John Stockton. Remember this story? You see the documentary on?
Oh, no one recognized him? I didn't
No,
see that.
John Stockton. Nobody who knew who he was. But everywhere, like Barkley, Jordan, they were mobbed, and the little white dudes were walking the street unfettered with his family.
He probably loved it. Barcelona, nice city.
Beautiful city.
Not a
2-2.
big fan of the food, though. I'm not a big paella guy.
But they have more than paella.
Yeah, but that was like every meal they were bringing that out. I didn't like it.
Every meal. You know, I ran on the grounds of the Athens the first Olympiad is preserved in kind of like ruins.
I've seen it. Yeah.
Seen it. I ran it. I got on there and ran where the track would be.
Would you duck under the rope? You were allowed on it?
I don't know what I did, but I got on it
No, I think you could get
for a photo op.
Wait, where was the place you did the photo op and almost got arrested?
That was in Greece also. That was in Athens. In a historic museum. Apparently it was a sacred statue. that I wasn't aware of. Lou in Villanova. Lou, you're on 97.5 The Fanatic. Lou.
Hey, Mike, how you doing, buddy?
What's up, Lou? How you doing?
All right. You were missed last night, but we'll reschedule.
This is my man Lou. We were supposed to got to dinner last night. I had to bail out, Lou. I had a concert to go to.
That's okay. We got your text, but I'll let you know next time.
Well, that's two friends that Mike bailed on last night because I didn't get an invite either.
Yeah, well.
But anyway, you were talking about the press and the fan base being down on Sirianni. I guess when you lose a game like they lost on Monday, that's expected. But I don't really care about what the fans think. And, of course, the press has their job to do. I'm more concerned with what the players in the locker room think about him. And there were some rumblings at the end of last year where veterans like Brandon Graham and Fletcher Cox had to go talk to Sirianni. What's your take on Sirianni's reputation with his team?
Good question. Like when he first came on, Lou, well, it was so ridiculous that he was just like a high school guy to me. And I'm going, that'll work if you win. And you start losing, and then you get the eye rolls.
Yeah.
You start losing, you get the eye rolls. So last year, when they lost 7 of 8, this is why I wouldn't have brought him back. Because at that point, he looked like he was way overmatched and couldn't do anything about their collapse.
Well, it goes to the point you made about how close the losses were and that they all occurred in about the last minute or less of the game. And that, that does, I guess, fall on the head coach. You've got to be able to take advantage of the situation you're in. And they didn't last year, and they didn't on Monday night. So,
4 of their last 7 losses have been they've led with under 2 minutes left. So that's an interesting little statistic. Lou, are you here for general knowledge, Lou?
I'm an old guy. I'll give it a shot.
All right, this is Lou. You're a learned man. So compound words is the category. These are obviously words that are combine 2 shorter words to make one. All right. So if I say to you, marine creature with 5 arms, what's the correct answer?
Marine creature with 5 arms?
Mm-hmm.
A sea urchin?
No, that's incorrect. It is not a sea urchin. Well, what does a star have 5 points?
Oh, you wouldn't go to Ray wanted it.
Starfish.
Ray knew it. Ray knew starfish.
Yeah.
You had it. There you go.
Myself, but
Or you didn't give him a chance.
Star
to
has
steal.
5 points. No, I didn't give him a chance to steal. He gets his own question. I'm going to stay in the same category.
So we still got a 2-2 tie.
2 tie.
Man, poor Lou gets the answer wrong, and you don't show up for dinner last night. You had texted beforehand, though.
Yeah, I told him I couldn't make it. But I said that we have a mutual friend who we take out to dinner every now and then. And so last night I just couldn't make it because I had the concert.
When you go to dinner with somebody,
Mm-hmm.
friends, family, do you make sure you're always on time?
Always.
Same. There is nothing that annoys me more than when you have a 7 o'clock reservation, whatever, and then the other people you're meeting show up at 7:15.
Except in this
7:20.
particular place, we were supposed to meet at the bar at a certain time. So that gives you a little more flexibility.
It does, but you're learning a little bit about me. I like to eat every 3 hours. So if I'm going to plan my dinner around a certain time and then you show up 15, 20 minutes late, then we got to talk for 15 minutes before you look at the menu. Now you're eating an hour after you thought you were eating.
Let me ask you this question. As you get a little older, are you more partial to the dinner at the bar or the dinner to be seated?
I've never been a fan of dinner at the bar.
Really? Oh.
Yeah, I don't know why. I never liked it.
I love it now. I don't do anything but.
I like to sit at a table, enjoy my meal. You know what I don't like either? When you're at the bar and you're eating and you're with other people, you're constantly turning left and right to talk. I like to just look at
I'm
you.
talking about two people. Just two. It's just two.
Two guys, or are you with a date?
Date.
A date, I want a table.
You do.
If me and
Because you
you
want to
went-
stare into her eyes, you want to stare in your wife's eyes, and the conversation doesn't get boring.
Yeah, I think it's easier to connect
Really?
if you're on a date.
Because if you're at the bar, you got all kinds of topics you can talk about.
Too many
Hey,
distractions.
Look at those people over there. Hey, there's a TV over here. Hey, I can still talk to you here. I got my guy. I think there's a lot more options at the bar rather than just looking at a person.
Let me ask you a question. You've been working with me for over a month. Do you think I need distractions? I need to be focused.
So, okay, well, let me ask you this. When you sit, you're having dinner with the wife, just a twosome.
Yes.
You and the wife.
Always at a table.
Are you the same bill that you are here, where you're just like we talk about one thing and all of a sudden something else lights you up? Are you that guy?
Unfortunately, yeah, I am.
Well, then you should be at the bar. If that's the type of guy you are, what pleasant experience could that be for her? If you're ADDing her all night.
So you want her to have other distractions too?
No, I want her to enjoy herself. You know, if she's going to be annoyed at your ADD and you sit at the bar, it's not as much of a factor because there are other things that you can also involve yourself with.
Yeah, I have to ask her about that. It's probably worse if I sit at the bar. Probably worse. All right, Ray's got a shot though to go up here.
All right, Ray. Executioner who uses a noose.
Is this a compound word?
Executioner uses.
Yeah, it's a compound word.
noose.
Two words put together. Executioner who uses a noose is called.
There's a popular word game that comes to mind here. I'll go with that.
What is it?
Hangman.
Hangman is correct.
Ding, ding, ding.
Steely Dan lyric. The hangman isn't hanging.
3-2. Ray's performing well.
He
today.
is. I knew he would perform well. See, these topics, I go, this could be a Ray day.
Could be.
So
Time
Ray, close to almost us declaring an upset. Now we get 2 hours left.
Now, Ray, when I was a kid and when Mike was a kid, we used to play a game called Hangman. But you grew up in the digital world. Do you ever play the game Hangman? Do you know what that is?
He just referred to it.
Oh, my.
What
Are
is
you
wrong
serious
with
right
you?
now? There was nothing that
What
happened.
is wrong with you? He just referred to the game.
You were the one that segued us back to my
This is
question.
incomprehensible to me. 5 seconds ago, he referred to the exact thing you just
This
said.
has to be
I'm
a bit.
only joking.
This has to be a bad
What is
thing.
wrong with you, dude?
I'm just playing up the shtick of having ADD.
We need some drugs in here. Adderall alert! What the hell?
Oh, man.
You said there's a game I used to play. Is that okay? What is it? Hangman. Hey, Ray! You know there was a game.
So what? Do you prefer being at the bar or at the table? I don't know if I heard that one.
Oh, man.
Oh my God!
Now, people are all getting it in the YouTube chat.
Getting what?
They're getting the joke.
They get one joke.
I was playing a bit.
I don't think you were.
Just playing a bit.
I don't think you were playing a bit. Now he's trying to hide behind a bit.
I need a cup of coffee. We're going to have to take our walk down the hall.
Take the
Oh my
walk.
God, this is classic.
Coming right off the topic about me being distracted.
610-632. Wait a minute. When they call the play to huddle, was it like a nightmare for you? Oh my God.
I'm like Alvin.
27 cross left. Yeah, we're at to run play, right?
I'm like Alvin Mack from the program. Okie Thunder Hero. Unless the setback shifts into the eye.
Like Alvin from Alvin and the Chipmunks, screaming to get your attention all the time.
All righty, coming up at the 12 o'clock hour, the news at noon. Nick Sirianni presser. This is going to be an interesting one because the knives are out, and I wonder if these questions are going to be thrown at him like knives. Yeah, we don't want to miss that. And also, Robert Irvine a little later in the show. It is General Knowledge Wednesday, so we would love people to play along because Ray looks like he's going to win, and I'd like the audience to win. I go away happy when the audience wins and gets their prize. Mike Missanelli Show continues on 97.5 The Fanatic. heavy on this band today. Hey, that's Parade. Black Parade.
You like them? You ever seen them live or no?
Yes, I have seen them live. Very good show. Very energetic show. You know, I saw. Didn't expect to be a great show. 21 Pilots. That little dude puts on a great show.
So I could see them putting on a good show.
One guy, what's his name? Tyler somebody. He's all over the place.
They're brothers, aren't they?
No.
They're not brothers.
Not brothers. No, he's got another. 21 Pilots is this guy and a drummer, but I guess he does all the parts.
Got it.
So, all right, the 12 o'clock hour is brought to you by, I can see, here we go. All right. Service First, heating and air conditioning. Get 0% financing for 72 months and a $500 rebate when you purchase a complete heating and cooling system from Service First. Learn more at ServiceFirstHVAC.com. All right, so Nick Sirianni is coming up at supposedly 12:10, but the heat is on. And I'm looking, first of all, at a story where a headline said that he's at fault. He's at fault for all this. And I'm going, okay, I'm probably the least supporter of Nick Sirianni. And I think this is overkill on the guy. I really do. Like this headline, why not be aggressive-minded and go for it on fourth down? Sirianni's conservative decision-making may be what turns up the heat on him the most. And I'm going, all right, what do you mean? Like his first decision to go for it was not conservative. His second decision to throw the pass on third down to try to seal the game wasn't conservative either. What are they talking about?
Talking about mostly at the end of the game after Saquon drops it, they choose to kick a field goal should they have gone for it at that point. Because the analytics, according to analytics, he should have gone for it. I don't think he should have. I was okay going up 6. But the analytics said go for it.
It's essential to go up 6. It's so easy to kick a field goal in this league. It's not that easy to go down the field, score a touchdown with no timeouts. With the way kickers can kick now, you don't want to go up by 6. This is what I don't get. And I'm coming off like I'm supporting him, and I really don't want to do that. But they're 1-1 right now, and you might think the season's over. Now, by the power rankings, I guess if you look at CBS, they dropped them all the way down to, what was it?
18.
18, which is, that's ridiculous.
But most other places have them in the top 6 or 7, I think.
How do you drop a team to 18?
I'm telling you, that Pete Prisco from CBS has not been high on the Eagles all offseason. So he was just waiting for something.
Yeah, well, then that's unfair. Pete Prisco should be held accountable for that. Now, on what earth can you really make a case for the following teams to be ahead of the Eagles right now? The Seahawks?
I don't think so.
The Chargers? That's a 2-0, but with flimsy wins. The Steelers? Justin Fields?
No.
The Packers, they beat. They're ahead of him in his power ranking. The Cowboys, after what happened last week. The Raiders. The Ravens, all right, you're buying into the Ravens even though they're 0-2. The Bears are better than the Eagles in the power rankings.
That's terrible. That is absolutely
It's silliness.
Did you see there's a video circulating online of after the Bears lost to the Texans, C.J. Stroud, when they go and he shakes Caleb Williams' hand, like the quarterbacks do, he's trying to give Caleb Williams advice, and Caleb Williams is trying to walk away from him. He's trying to walk away from him. And Stroud's like, trying to give him advice. Like, come on, young man. I was in your shoes last year. This is what you need to do. And it looks like Williams couldn't wait to get away from him. Like, I don't need to listen to you. Not a great look for Caleb Williams. And I don't know if you watch any of the Hard Knocks. He comes off that way a little bit. Maybe because he's player in the NCAA last year.
I think he thinks he's really good and hasn't proven it yet. And now these other power rankings are more in line. All right, they've got the Eagles at 6. That might be even a little too high for them. They've got them below the Detroit Lions, and their power rankings have of course, the Chiefs and the 49ers 1 and 2. And then they go Texans, Bills, Lions, Eagles, Chargers behind them, which I think you can make a case for that. Saints behind them? No. Not right now. You can't put the Eagles ahead of the Saints.
No, I mean, and if you're looking at power rankings, technically it's not off of projections, right? It's just off of what you've seen in the last 2
But
weeks.
you can't put the Packers below them either.
I don't think you can. Not when the Eagles beat the Packers.
Yeah.
But
Yeah. And this is legit. Packers are 10th.
Like,
The Eagles are 6th.
I don't think that we should overreact to only 2 weeks of football. But everything that we were questioning about this football team coming into the season was more on the defensive side of the football. That's all offseason. Are they good enough on defense? Are they good enough on defense? And what you've seen through 2 weeks, even if Barkley catches that football and they win the game and they're 2-0, we're sitting here talking about what's going on with the pass rush, what's going on with the rushing defense. Devin White's a healthy scratch. Bryce Huff hasn't been able to do anything. Like, all of those things. So I don't want to overreact to one
They're
week.
all legit. All those problems are legit. Now, are they legit to bail out on the season, to say they stink? And like, I don't know. It just, I think that Sirianni really is on a downward slide right now from what happened last year. So there's got to be immediate gratification. And so the first game was okay. We keep him at bay. We're okay. And then this one, people just couldn't wait to come to that other anti-Sirianni side.
They couldn't wait. And you're sitting here exactly where you thought they would be anyway. You thought they'd be 1-1.
I did. And again, I have the axe held over my head at all times. But I don't bring it down unless it's absolutely necessary. And right now, I don't think it's necessary. 610-632-0975. We'll go to Brian on the cell. Brian, you're on 97.5 The Fanatic. What's up, Brian?
Hey, guys. Yeah, I actually called there. Well, I've been on hold for a little bit, calling to agree with Bill about Sirianni, and now I kind of feel a little embarrassed after that whole hangman incident. But
come on, man, don't give up.
I'm sorry. So I definitely agree that I think Sirianni, once he lost his power, I mean, he agreed to be coach. I mean, I certainly would have a hard time doing that. But once he agreed to be coach, and he basically knew that he'd be neutered, for lack of a better word, that he wouldn't have the power to kind of take control of the offense or the defense. I mean, we can agree the defense was not his fault at all yet last week. That was not his fault, right? But the offense, I think he feels kind of, maybe he's not empowered to maybe make those decisions, even though they tell him he's, basically the manager in charge. If you feel like if you say, okay, we're not going to run the ball. We're not going to pass the ball. We're going to run it. Does he feel deep down that if I do this and this doesn't work, the axe is going to come down?
Yeah, but see, here's the other thing. Here's the other thing.
Yeah.
I think that he has relied on analytics. So that first thing, he wasn't going to buck against it. The other one is like, all right, Kellen Moore makes that call. Now, he can override it, but he's going, man, that's right. That plays right into my aggression here. I'm going to win the game. People are going to love me that I ran this play, which was open and should have been the first down in the end of the game, right? So there's a fine line between what messes that whole thing up. And the fine line was he dropped the ball. So that gives people a chance to say, that's a terrible call. You should have ran it. It's a good call. It should have been a first down that locked up the game. It was right in line with, boy, they're really being aggressive. They threw it there, a little puff throw to win the game. That's why I think he didn't overrule it. I think it was right in line with what he was thinking.
I think it was. I had no problem with the call either. But I just think that I just think even in Green Bay, some of the calls. I think that he feels maybe that if he does step out of line, and kind of overrule these things, which I would as a coach.
Yeah, you're probably right, because the management has put so much emphasis on hiring Kellen Moore and Vic Fangio that at that point
he's already out of the defense. I mean, that's already over. So,
yeah.
But I mean, the offense too.
Yeah, I know. I agree. That's a pretty good call by you. All right, let's get to general knowledge, which is the general knowledge category. I don't know if you're going to be able to get this, but you might. What stereotypical naval beverage, they used to drink this all the time, was made with water, rum, and lemon juice? What was it called? There was a name for it. It's a 4-letter word.
Don't know. Salt. Don't know.
Oh, it's grog. Grog was the answer.
That was a tough one, though.
Yeah?
That was tough.
If you have any naval experience or you knew somebody in the Navy, you would get that.
Yeah, that one would have been tough. And we're waiting on Sirianni. So I
don't
guess,
like tardiness.
are we going to do the news at noon after Sirianni? Is that the plan?
I think so. I think that was the plan. But we do have the news at noon coming up. We can't start
don't
that
like
now, can
tardiness.
we?
No, we can't. I think Sirianni's on any second now.
Yeah, that was my bad anyway. I should have gone to it right away. But,
You're a little off today. You had a late night last night.
I'm overloaded with all this stuff, right? I'm not good at parceling out this stuff. Like we got Irvine coming on, we got the Fanatic Deal of the Week, we got Fan Fest. All right, we got Nick Sirianni.
To fix defense and kind of just where they are.
Yeah, I think all three guys have showed moments of being of having a lot of good plays, and all of them have had bumps too. But that's every player, right? That's not just limited to those guys. Like, we're 1-1 at this particular point, so there's going to be good plays, there's going to be bad plays, but a lot of those guys and their abilities of what why we drafted them in the first place and what they can add to our defense. But we got to be better as a whole, better coaching, better playing on offense, better playing on defense.
Nick, I know Kellen's obviously calling the plays, but late in the fourth quarter when there's so much game strategy involved, what are the conversations like between the two of you? How does that communication work?
Yeah, just like it would early in the game too, to be quite honest with you, because you're discussing when you're going for it on fourth down, what third down needs to look like in attempts to go for fourth down. Sometimes third down's played a little differently. Sometimes it's not. And so all those discussions are happening. They're happening, like I said, in the first quarter. They're happening in the fourth quarter. And if Kellen and I are just having that conversation right then we've done a shitty job getting ready all week. That conversation happens throughout. That conversation happened today, right, of what we would be thinking in those scenarios. And it's just, hey, remember we said in this scenario, boom, right? So that's something that that we prep for all week. And then it's just little reminders within that. And because you're right, it's like calling the game is one thing, managing the game's another thing, but they have aspects of meshing together.
Nick, to follow up on that. Nick, to follow up on that.
Just to follow up, when you say what third down might look like, on the second to last possession specifically, this 3rd and 3, the pass, are you talking about this is a run or a pass? How many yards we need to get in order to be willing to go for it on fourth down?
Yeah, all those things, that you talk through in that scenario, and past experiences too, like that we talked about. Like last week against Green Bay, we passed the ball in 4-minute football, a couple times to really seal that game and give it the ball back to them late. It was the same scenario here. Those conversations happened last week leading into the game. What are we going to do in this scenario here? What are we going to do in this scenario there? When are we willing to pass it? When we pass it, what are we thinking? And be ready and be willing to pass it because, we've won a game that way. And then we also have lost some games where we just were too conservative and went run in those scenarios.
Some people think it's better to be up 3 than to be up 6 when you kick the field goal.
Yeah, I don't believe that. If you look at the history of that call, so initially you go through it and I'm going to try to drag myself through the mud as much as I possibly can, because quite frankly, that's the only way you get better, is to really look at your decisions, look at every decision you make, and say, hey, did I make this decision? Did I make the right decision? And sometimes the play fails for whatever reason, but you got to still look at each decision. So, in that scenario, we've put ourselves in that before. It was a little similar to the week before where we kicked the field goal. Now there was less time left on the clock, but we were 4th and 3 at the 3, which is arguably probably a little bit more, in my mind. You could go for that a little bit more in the Green Bay game than you do here. But as I look through, so I kind of, what I did is kind of look through the entire league. I said to our analytics department, could you give me every fourth down decision from when teams are in range in 4-minute offense? So, because if you're up 6, you're kicking it every single time, right? Because that's going to put you up 2 scores. But so I asked for every time it was 1 point to 5 points, the team was up. Under 4 minutes with and every fourth down from the 34 and in. And there were 4th and 1s that we're going for. I think there were 12 4th and 1s. There was 4th and 3 that Houston went against Dallas for in 2022, and then there was a 4th and 2 that the Jets went for against Tampa, but that was it, and the rest were field goals. And I've put myself in that situation prior to the call, so I felt like in the moment, my conviction in the moment was I knew exactly what I want. Again, is the outcome always what you want? No, but your conviction in the call, I was completely convicted that kicking the field goal there was the right decision based off all my studies. Now, I come back and I reevaluate it, right? And I'm even more convicted, to be quite honest with you, because of just everything that goes into that. I think there's something else that is very noticeable. Like, as an offensive coach, you'd much be rather, like, there's a stress being having to have to score a touchdown when you're, giving the ball back to a team. There's a stress in that. And I get it. They get an extra down to do so. I understand all that. But there's a different stress being down 6 as opposed to 3. So that's also my experience as an offensive coach. And you know what? Our defense had done it really, like, where we were getting hurt was in the run game. Not necessarily them dropping back and passing. Obviously we didn't do a good enough job on that drive. But to that point, we had only given up 15 points, and we were really salty in the red zone up to that point.
Take that information and apply it to your own team, because obviously your offense and the 22 Texans offense are different in that situation. How do you process that?
Yeah, so analytics is a piece. League study is a piece. This game always comes down to players and plays, right? What plays do you have the most confidence in to your players in those particular cases? Right, and so that's where your confidence is coming from to go for things on that. We've been pretty darn aggressive, and I think we've probably went for it. I don't think probably we've went for it more in our plus territory than anybody else in the NFL. Why? Because Jordan Mailata, right? He's sitting in here, so I say him first. Because Lane Johnson, because Landon Dickerson, because Jalen Hurts, because of A.J. Brown, because of Devontae Smith, because of Dallas Goedert, because of Saquon Barkley. But I could go, because of Cam Jurgens, because of Mackay. And so, like, those are your reasons why you go for it in those scenarios. Now, again, a 4-minute scenario is a different scenario with time, the timeouts, all those different things. So those are treated different, because no decision that a coach makes is made just on a piece of paper that says the chart says to go for it here. It's not that easy, and it's not that black and white. There's so many things that factor into it. Again, past experiences, right? So let's just talk and I'm in 4th down generally speaking right now. Past experiences, plays, players, and then plays. And so I think about, we've had 2 wins against Dallas here in 22 and in 23 at home, right? Those both had 4th and 3 conversions on our plus side of the field. When you convert it, nobody really thinks that, they converted that and they got 7 points out of this, not 3. When you fail, that onus is going to be on me, and I perfectly understand. I completely understand that and completely accept it. But Dallas, we get the NFC Championship game against the Niners. We go for it on 4th and 3, and we get a scenario there. So again, analytics is a piece of the puzzle. There's all those other things that go along with it. What's the chart say in that particular case? My chart, what I say to do is to kick it. Again, the chart is one thing. You guys can punch in a number there's about 20 websites, right, that you can punch in a number and say, what did it say here? So you all can see that, but I base it off of what my studies have been and my conviction on my studies.
What was the analytics suggestion for the 3rd down, whether to run or pass?
They don't give suggestions on run, pass, and those. Theirs was more off of should you go for it on 4th down and 3rd down, and not what you should do, run, pass there. But like I said, the game before, and we lost some games last year in 4-minute where we didn't feel like we were aggressive enough. I kind of addressed this last week, but we held the ball for quite a long time. Our offensive line did a good job of blocking. Saquon did a good job of running. We won a game last week being aggressive in 4-minute. If you look at the play too, the play prior to our fourth down call, our third down call, you can see that they're bringing junk inside, right? And on that play, like Landon had to take 2 on one of them, right? And he made this miraculous play that could have been called holding on, right? Because there's guys in every gap, and some of them they're bringing an extra guy in there. And if you look at it, Landon kind of had to hook the guy so Saquon could make a great run. It wasn't like it was a real clean look. And so we knew they were jamming it up inside, and so we tried to push it to the outside. Sometimes you push it to the outside with this play we ran, and sometimes you don't. You do it with another play, but that's why we did what we did there. Again, conviction in it at the time, conviction in it still at this time.
What's wrong with the run defense?
I think it always starts with us putting the players in position to make plays, right? But after that, you got to, when you talk about run defense and when you talk about playing defense, it's going to start with, do you get off blocks, right? Can you play on their side of the line of scrimmage and get off blocks, and can you make the tackles when you get there? So, regardless of what the call is, do we have to put them in different positions and try different things? Yeah, and the defense was trying to do that. But regardless of what the call is, it's going to be how we put our hands on people, how we knock them back, how we shed that block, whether it's a cut block or whether it's an up high block, and how we tackle after that. And so we have to build on those fundamentals, and to be and I don't want that to sound like the coaches. We have to do that as coaches. We have to put them in positions as far as how to strike blocks. So there's 2 aspects of this, right? It's us as coaches putting them in position to make plays, but that's us also teaching them how to put their hands on blocks. And we're going to make sure that we do our part as coaches, and then the players got to do their part of executing it. And when that time comes,
You mentioned Dallas Goedert is getting enough targets, especially after Friday without A.J. Brown, and we don't know what the situation is with him going forward. But do you think he's as involved as he needs to be at this point?
Obviously, this is you're such in a small sample size right now. We love to get Dallas the ball. Dallas has gotten the ball a lot, but different teams play things different ways, whether they junk up the middle, whether they give you the things on the outside. So, would we like Dallas to have the ball more? Absolutely. Of course we would. But it's not, again, sometimes it's not that simple either, right? Because the quarterback we can't tell the quarterback just throw it to this guy. Right, he's got to read the defense. That's why playing quarterback is the hardest position in the NFL, right, or in sports, in my opinion. They have to read the defense, right, to see where the hits coming, or where the pressure's coming, where the coverage is, all those different things, and deliver the ball where it's supposed to go. And so it's not always that simple. Now we can put Dallas at the number 1 spot where we think it might go, but that doesn't also necessarily mean that. So do we need to get Dallas the ball more? Yeah. Is that a conscious effort? Yeah. But sometimes it's not that simple.
You mentioned the players aspect of it.
Mm-hmm.
So when
players, then plays.
Yeah. When you have Saquon, a high-level player like that, you told us in the past you yell at your coaches if they say, catch the ball. He's trying to catch the ball. So. Sure. And he knows he should have caught the ball. So how do you handle that in the moment when you're trying to make corrections, or just...
Yeah, that's as far as, when we get in here, we're not going to say catch the ball. We're going to talk about hand placement and stuff like that. And that's for a couple different things that happen as far as some catches, not just Saquon. So as far as in the moment, are you saying?
Yeah, in the moment, you have a high all-pro level player who understands, he knows what he has to do.
At that point, it's about, hey, moving on from that, and if you get another opportunity to make a play, we got to do it. And I think that's the in the moment, and you give the quick coaching point, and then really use of what you think should happen, and then you kind of reemphasize that when you get to the film room.
What changes most when you don't have AJ on the offense, and how difficult was it that it happened at the end of last week?
Yeah, that's not like when you're in this league long enough and you experience these things where it's like, oh shoot, whether they get hurt later in the week of practice that limits them, or they get hurt in the game prior to, and it's like he might go. So this is all part of what you end up doing. So it's not new to us to put 2 game plans together And I don't want you to think it's like this game plan. There's similarities. It's just some different things. But, you know, we've been used to doing that, right? Because this is a game that people, you know, have bumps and bruises throughout the way. And so this is just common practice for us. This is part of our weekly process. What are we going to do, Bo? As far as, and hopefully I answered your question in that part, but you had a second part of that question.
Just what changes most for you guys? For example, you ran 26 plays or 28 plays, I think, of those last 2 drives. I think like 16 of them were 4 yards or less. Do you lose that explosiveness and how?
Well, you know, AJ's a phenomenal player, so of course you lose some of the big play ability that he brings. But you try to move guys around, whether you're running a different play or whether you're running a different person in the play that AJ would have ran. You know, those are all different things. So, but yeah, anytime you lose a player like AJ Brown, it's going to affect you. But again, I thought the efficiency of the offense now again wasn't as good what we needed to be in the red zone. But the guys that had to step up and make plays in absence of AJ did a good job.
What concerns you most about the Saints offense, especially in light of, you know, the difficulties you guys have been having?
Yeah, I think first they have an explosive running back with Kamara. They got a speed receiver. Derek Carr is seen and played a lot of football, and then when he's on, he's on. And I got a lot of, being in that Charger division when he was early on, I got a lot of respect for Derek Carr because I think he can play really good football. And obviously he is playing very good football at this particular point, but they run the ball well. They're explosive with the pass game, and you know, they're going to be a big-time challenge in a hostile environment.
You got time for 2 more?
Go
I know you spend Monday you spend Monday to Saturday preparing for these game management decisions, but in real time, who's in the booth providing you with the data?
Yeah, you know, I have a couple guys that I rely on that we go through a lot of different things with. You know, Kevin Patullo's a big help for me because he sits in a lot of them. Kellen's, you know, my job also is to prepare guys to be head coaches as well. So just like Shane used to sit in with some of these meetings with me because he was calling the plays, and Brian, Kellen does the same thing. You know, Gannon used to sit in those with me, and so you kind of go through it. You kind of go through it that way. So Kellen, Kevin, I got some eyes upstairs that are really helpful that help me think through some things as well. And again, like my game management sheet, you have that memorized, right? And it's something that you work on. You make the game management sheet. You compile it from all these different things. There's so many different pictures in your head as far as, oh, this happened in that game in 2010 or whatever it is, right? And so you have it memorized, but you also bounce it off of some guys. But some of them, sometimes the reason I have to have it memorized is because sometimes, but not every time, it's make the decision, make the decision, make the decision, make the decision. It happens fast. And that's our job as coaches. So that's why it's so important that we put ourselves, you know, I read Bill Walsh's book, and he talks about this whole aspect of, and it was a great read this summer, and I've showed it to our coaches. He talks about the whole aspect of you have to put yourself in the position when he talks about scripting plays. He talks about scripting them in the beginning, but then he goes into he wasn't ready in a game against he was with the Bengals and they were playing the Raiders or something like that, and he wasn't ready for a call. But then he put himself in all those scenarios, so he was ready for each and individual call, because you do have to make it like that. There's not time to be like, you know, there's no pause button. There's no, what was that show? There's no Zach Morris, where, you remember Zach Morris he used to pause it and it would go, and then he'd be able to think, there's nothing like that you can do. And so that's why you have to have it memorized, and that's why you have to put the work in, quite frankly, to do that. Again, is every decision I make going to be successful? No, but every decision I make has been thought out. Is every decision I make going to be glorified? No, not even a little bit, right? Because I know the other end of it. Like, you're going to fail on something. You're not going to be perfect on fourth down decisions as far as converting them, and but that is my job as the head coach, and that's just something that comes with that's the price of doing business. It's the business that we chose, however you want to say it, and so I'll gladly take the criticisms because I know they're coming.
Last one. After 2 straight games where the run defense was an issue, at what point do you find yourself focusing more on that, where in the past you might have been more focused offensively?
obviously I trust those guys to do their job, and I'm still going to focus my attention that way and towards the offense and also game management. But, we talk through everything. At the end of the day, offense, defense, special teams, I'm the head coach, so I'm responsible for all of it. So if the run game doesn't look the way it's supposed to look like on defense, then I'm first and foremost responsible. So, but it's just going through our process like we normally do. So I'll have the same process with the defense as normal. We'll talk through things, and I know that I trust the heck out of our defensive staff. Their track record is pretty darn good, and I trust our players.
All right. Thanks, folks.
Thanks.
All righty. Well, I got to be honest with you. This is more enlightening Nick Sirianni than I've heard in a while. I thought he explained the analytics pretty well, here's the thing that bugs me about the press. Like when you broil a guy, I expect that you broil him again. Like if you're going to write something that broils the guy for something, then you got to stand up for yourself in a presser. I don't think anybody did, and I think he gave a really revealing answer to the analytical question on 4th and 3. To me, it made perfect sense, and it was pretty informational.
Yeah, I definitely agree with you on that. Jeff McClain writes the article about Sirianni. Ruben Frank writes the article about Sirianni that he's to blame for all of these collapses.
Yeah, and then you back off.
No one asked him that.
Right. Then you back off. Like, come on, man. Have the courage to get into why you had the problem with it.
Yeah, no one asked him, hey, Nick, this has been a common theme over the last 2 seasons where you're losing games that you have the lead in the last 2 minutes. What's going on?
Right. They just wrote that and let it stand out there and didn't get any answers for it.
No, but McMullen asked a good question about what do you tell Pro Bowler Saquon Barkley after he drops a pass? I love John McMullen, but what do you want him to say? What do you want him to say?
Yeah, catch the ball. But here's the thing about Nick. He won me over a little bit today in this presser. But overall, he doesn't engender any confidence with me. Because everything is like a right. He doesn't speak assertively enough for me, and I wonder how players look at that.
Well, I counted 12 rights.
Yeah.
I may have missed some.
And that's just a reflection of insecurity. Like, I don't understand why you that's not being in command. And I wonder if his players see him as in command.
Everything we've heard, now I know the product on the field may look differently, but everything we've heard, that the players do like him.
They like him, but they see him as a man in command that they can go to war with.
Well, I was going to take it one step further. They like him, but do they respect him? That's the most important thing, and I think we're going to find that out over the next few weeks, how this team responds.
Yeah, but he explained it pretty thoroughly, that particular situation. And he also explained it thoroughly that 6 points is better than 3 in this man's league, right?
Yeah, and I agree with what he said is there's a lot more stress on the offense when you got to score a touchdown instead of just a field goal. It's a lot more stressful.
Exactly. All right, we'll take a break. We'll come back. We got the news at noon, and then more of this chat. I'm wondering how people perceive this particular press conference. Usually I roll my eyes and go, I'm tired of hearing this dude. But I thought he was pretty informative in this one.
Yeah, and before we go to break, Kevin Cooney, who's on our YouTube chat, he's saying, in fairness to the reporters, they were probably confronted in the back already told not to ask those types of questions. Is that possible?
What do you mean confronted in the back? What does that have to do with a reporter's responsibility? It shouldn't be a part of a reporter's responsibility. But somebody's going to tell me in the back that I shouldn't go in certain areas. You know what I give them? The finger. 610-632-0975. Back after this. 75, the Fanatic, 610-620-0975. All right, now, there are a couple things that we're going to replay a little bit of what I'm talking about, where he made perfect sense as he tried to explain the analytics. A lot of coaches won't go into that much detail to do that. At least he tried to give them something, right? Which I respect.
I actually disagree with you here.
Really?
And I don't think you needed to over-explain.
Okay.
I didn't like that he had to explain in such detail why he made those decisions. You made the decisions. Some people agree with you. I happen to be someone who does agree with you. I don't need the explanation, Nick. Have confidence in the decision you made, and that's the end of it. You don't have to explain yourself to us.
You're right. He's not Belichick, though. So he's still trying to, like, he knows he gets criticized, so he's going, okay, let me explain what my thinking was so people will stay off me, and it'll make more sense to them.
But
I think he tried to do that.
But when you start to care about what the fans say, you will eventually become a fan.
It's not really as much the fans as it is the people he has to deal with who are questioning him. So when he is questioned, he's got two options. He could Belichick him, which he doesn't have the status to do, or he could try to explain it to a point where they go, oh, well, I must have been wrong in my original interpretation. That's what I think he was trying to do. This is why I did it, and here's why it makes sense. So shut the F up, basically.
I just think he was over-explaining it and talked about how he asked the analytics department to go back every fourth down decision in the last few years, 1 through 5 point lead. But you don't need to get into all that.
I get it. He felt he needed to do that, and I actually respect that part of it. Whether he was more revealing than the team wanted him to be, or whether the coaching fraternity wanted to be, whatever, he was asked the question because he knows this is the major issue here. So let me try to address the major issue with some information and detail so people can understand what I was thinking about at the time instead of just dismissing me.
Yeah, and the one thing that he said that I did agree with is when he talked about part of the reasoning that went into play to kick the field goal to go up 6 is that the defense was being hurt in the running game up until that point. And you knew they weren't going to try to run the ball down the field.
Yeah, that makes total sense.
So that I did think made a lot of sense.
So the people that listen to that, did he make more sense to you that you understand the issue rather than your original knee jerk that he screwed up and shouldn't have thrown a pass? Or when that play didn't work, he should have gone for it?
Well, the people are going to say, well, look how the game ended. They lost the game, so clearly it was the wrong decision.
But see, you can't look at it that way because you got to look at components. So, A, Kellen Moore called the play that he acceded to. B, the play didn't work. Now you're faced with a situation, should you run the ball there, and even if you don't make it, they have to go 85 or whatever it is. And so he explained why he kicked the field goal. And a lot of people, you don't kick a field goal. Of course you kick a field goal. At that point, you kick a field goal. You go up 6 because it's easier to kick a field goal to tie the game. It's simple.
Yeah, but you and I thought it was the right decision even before we heard Sirianni's rationale.
Exactly. But I like the fact that he tried to explain it because the majority of people were down on it. Yeah, the majority of people go for the easiest. Oh, you should have gone for it, and tush push, and you should. That's why he explained it. I'm perfect. When I reviewed it, I'm perfectly confident that I did the right thing.
Yeah, I just don't think he needed to explain it that much.
Okay, well let's hear
the
explanation.
Have confidence.
Here comes the explanation from Nikki.
Yeah, I don't believe that. If you look at the history of that call. So, initially you go through it I'm going to try to drag myself through the mud as much as I possibly can because quite frankly, that's the only way you get better is to really look at your decisions, look at every decision you make and say, hey, did I make this decision? Did I make the right decision? And sometimes the play fails for whatever reason, but you got to still look at each decision. So, in that scenario, we've put ourselves in that before, and it was a little similar to the week before where we kicked the field goal. Now there was less time left on the clock, but we were 4th and 3 at the 3, which is arguably probably a little bit more in my mind. You could go for that a little bit more in the Green Bay game than you do here, but as I look through, so I kind of what I did is through the entire league, I said to our analytics department, could you give me every fourth down decision from when teams are in range and 4-minute offense? So, because if you're up 6, you're kicking it every single time, right? Because that's going to put you up 2 scores. But so I asked for every time it was 1 point to 5 points, the team was up. Under 4 minutes with and every fourth down from the 34 and in. And there were 4th and 1s that we're going for. I think there were 12 4th and 1s. There was a 4th and 3 that Houston went against Dallas for in 2022. And then there was a 4th and 2 that the Jets went for against Tampa. But that was it. And the rest were field goals. And I've put myself in that situation prior to the call, so I felt like in the moment, my conviction in the moment was I knew exactly what I want. Again, is the outcome always what?
Okay, now, so he completely disarmed a reporter with that. How can a reporter refute it now and write that there was the wrong decision if he explained it to him? So the reporter's counter would be, well, I didn't think that was the right situation, and here's why. And then you get a better dialogue. But you can't be silent if you're a reporter who has spent the last 24 hours burying a freaking guy over the decision.
Yeah, they have been burying him. I just don't need that long of an explanation. I just think he should be more confident. You're saying he's not Bill Belichick, but guess what? The NFL head coach of the Philadelphia Eagles. You made the decision. You feel confident that it was the right decision? You don't have to tell us why.
But why not? Because he gave you the information on why. So now a reporter has nothing to go on. Like that it totally disarmed. Here's what I'm thinking as a football coach. This is the study that goes into it. And you completely disarm them.
See, and this goes back to how we started the show yesterday, how we started the show today. I had less problem with the decisions. I have more problem with the defense. And when they asked him about that, he had to go in the coach speak. Because you don't have an answer for the lack of personnel.
You're right about that. That should have been pressed harder.
Yeah, that was, we got to put him in a better position.
We needed more specific answers with that. But he doesn't want to bury Fangio. 610-632-0975. It's still General Knowledge Wednesday, and you still can score tickets to the big haunted house thing that we also have as a deal of the week. It's the Mike Missanelli Show, and Robert Irvine coming up at 1:30. Back after this. Sirianni's conservative decision-making may be what turns up the heat on him most. I go, all right, let me look back here. He went for a first down on 4th and 4 because the analytics supported that. Would that be considered conservative?
Mike and Bill have been pleading their cases.
He threw a makeable little completion pass to the flat that was wide open that I would think would be an aggressive call that wanted to put the game away, and it just didn't work out. So where's the conservative decision-making? It was the anti-conservative decision-making that hurt them.
After Saquon Barkley drops a very well-designed play, the 4th down at that point, I still would have kicked the field goal. But if you rely on analytics would have told you to go for it. And according to Next Gen Stats, their win probability actually dropped from 94% to 85% when Elliott kicked that field goal.
The Mike Missanelli Show Holding Court is brought to you by Grunko Law, your law firm when you need help because of an injury. We treat every case like it's Dallas Week. Pray for peace, prepare for trial. Now back to Mike Missanelli on 97.5 The Fanatic and 97.5thefanatic.com.
1 o'clock hour, Mike Missanelli Show. You just heard the arguments. 1 o'clock hour is brought to you by Ferguson HVAC, Lion Conklin, Attention HVAC Contractors. For equipment, parts, supplies for every heating and cooling job, just visit one of their counter locations in Bensalem. King of Pro. This is a talking point that's probably never going to be settled, and we're going to have it in our minds until they play the next game and either win or lose. That's the only thing that'll rub it away. But there are still people out there, and we have somebody on hold who's going to make the same case. I do not understand how people can think being up by 3 is okay instead of being up by 6. I just, in what world, like analytics don't take into consideration that particular circumstance at the end of the game. It's not that hard to get to the 40-yard line if you're the other team. That's not factored in to the analytical thing there. Is it difficult to get to the 40-yard line to kick a game-tying field goal? No. So go up by 6. You won't have to worry about that component.
I agreed with the decisions at the end of the game, but I feel like I got to be the voice of the people who are saying otherwise.
You don't have to.
I could take this one for you on this one. I think the idea here is kicking a game-tying field goal ties the game. You live to give it back to your better part of your team, which is your offense. Instead, going down by 6, you're saying they're going to be more aggressive, trying to search for a touchdown, and the touchdown ends up winning the game.
But I think it goes back even before that, right? I think what the fan base who wanted to see them go for it on 4th down are saying is that they should have ran the ball on 3rd down because they wanted to take more time off the clock. Atlanta didn't have any timeout. So if you ran it on 3rd, now you're going for it on 4th down after 40 seconds has run off the clock. And if you don't get it, now Atlanta has to go 60 yards to get in the field goal range in only 40 seconds as opposed to giving them the ball back with 1:38 or whatever there was left. I agree with your point about keeping it as a 3-3 game potentially, but I think those same people say run it on 3rd, go for it on 4th. They don't get the ball back with more than 40 seconds left.
See, but to me, that's starting to change the call on 3rd, and I'm cool with the call on 3rd. So I'm not going to start, like, if I'm presenting the argument here that, hey, going for it was the way to go there, I'm not changing the call on 3rd. I think for people, you're now changing too many factors if you say, well, the 3rd down call was wrong and then the 4th down call was wrong. Like, you're changing too many things.
I think people are also saying, even though you messed up the 3rd down, still go for it. And I'm going, go up by 6. It's a lot more difficult to go 90 yards to score a touchdown than it is 50 to kick a field goal.
Well, let's be honest here, though. Either way, the way that defense played on the final drive, I don't think it would have mattered if they gave him the ball back with 40 seconds or a minute 40 seconds.
That's incomprehensible how they got the ball down the field. So, that's going to be the unanswered question. General knowledge today, of course, we're giving you a pair of adult combo tickets for the Bates Motel. Prepare for Halloween thrills at the Bates Motel, one of the most frightening haunting attractions in the country. It's the Fanatics Deal of the Week. Get 2 combo tickets to the Bates Motel in Glen Mills for the price of 1, but we're going to give you a pair. if you defeat Ray. What is the score right now in general knowledge?
I believe Ray's up 3-2.
That's what I have as well.
Ray
3-2.
is up 3-2. So the audience gets the Ziggy unless they either tie. The tie goes to the audience, or they get ahead of them.
The Ziggy Sabatka?
Nobody knows who that is. Because the people that did watch The Wire don't look at season 2 as any big deal.
It was the weakest season, but still good.
I don't think it was. I think they were all equally good.
Before you go to the phones real quick, did you get the Zach Morris reference from our coach Sirianni today?
No.
When he said it's not Zach Morris, you can't pause things. Now, this is my era.
No, I don't know who that is.
Saved by the Bell. Yeah. Zach Morris used to be able to say during the show, timeout, and everybody would freeze on the show, and then he could talk to the
I told you I didn't watch silly sitcoms.
It's a great show.
It was more cerebral.
All right, go to Andy from Lambertville, please.
Let's go to Andy in Lambertville. What's up, Andy?
Good afternoon, fellas.
How are
you? Saved by the Bell. That's Sirianni for you right there. Saved by the Bell. You freaking kidding me?
He gave us the reference.
It's a good thing I didn't know what that reference was. I would have pounded it.
He wasn't outside shooting hoops out in Mount Union. He was inside watching Saved by the Bell. Anyway, he's driving me.
He was an athlete. He was a good athlete.
Against the wall because he goes like, I'm like, do you make a football decision? It's not like he said, well, I looked at my offense and quarterback's eyes and I knew to go for it. He's like, I looked at a chart and I point. Some math nerd up in the box, and I know analytics has its part in the game. I'm not saying disregard it completely, but I mean, I could call. If somebody's telling me, "Oh, you got to go for it here," you don't go for it here. So what does he do? Is he a football coach, or is he?
No, most football coaches are going to go by the analytics. Right? This is just the era that we live in.
Right?
But
I'll just go by the analytics.
No, he went for it. He went analytics one time, but second time he didn't. So he went on.
That's what the chart tells me.
Well, he went on coach instinct the second time. He didn't do the analytics.
He
analytics.
Say that. He said they told me to go for it, so I went for it. So now he's absolved of any decision making.
No, what I'm saying to you is, at the end, it was his decision. It wasn't the analytics. The end wasn't analytics. The first one was.
Okay, but I think he said that both of those were. But anyway,
no, he didn't say both of them were, because the analytics told him to go for it. On that fourth down. Yeah, instead of kicking the field goal.
That's what you should have done, of course, and you should have taken the 3 in the beginning of the game. You're up 3-0. The whole momentum swung, and it's a sluggish first half because of that.
Yeah, the only problem is I would have kicked the field goal early as well. But I think when the people say, well, look, if they would have kicked the field goal, they would have gone up 9 at the end of the game because they would have had 3 points. Games play out differently. So I don't think you could look at the first half and say, it would have gone that way.
You can't just tack on 3 points.
Let me ask you this. If you're the head coach, your first drive of the game, 3-0, or, you take 3-0. All right, 3-0. Let's go.
Yeah. No, I would have kicked it. I would have.
Yeah. Oh, well.
All right.
By the way, Ray is. This is week 4 on general knowledge, and the audience has 1, Ray 0, and there's 2 ties, so it's 1-0-2 record so far.
This is very interesting. This just gives you a chance now to tie it. All right?
I've been listening every day.
All right, Andy, are you up for the challenge here? Because we are in number one.
There's one category I'm afraid of. Oh no.
Number 1 music hits of the 2010s.
I knew it.
But I'm going to give you a hint.
All right.
In 2019, the song "Shallow" made it to number 1.
I know that one.
And you do know it?
Yeah, of course.
All right, who did it?
Lady Gaga and Bradley.
There you go. See that?
It's a good job right there.
I didn't even have to give you a hint. Hold on a second. Andy ties the score with a big win.
Andy from Lambertville.
How about that?
I love that he's got the
talked himself out of that that victory there.
Great little town, Lambertville. You ever been up there?
Yeah, it's on the border of New Hope.
Yeah, you can walk right across the bridge.
See, you don't understand that when I grew up in Bristol, which is the lower end of Lower Bucks County, going to New Hope in the upper end was like going on vacation.
Going to New Hope?
It was, I'm going to New Hope. Oh, my God. It was like, we're going to Utopia. And then right across the river is Lambertville.
Yeah,
a kid from Bristol is like, whoa, look, there's a whole new Bucks County.
Lambertville's nice. They got killed a couple years ago with that flood, though. I remember seeing some pictures. It was really bad for people in Lambertville.
All right, since I brought this up and I referred to Bristol, a new episode of my podcast is out. Episode 6 of The Coldest Murder is out now.
6 of, you're thinking, what, 9 or 10? episodes?
We're going to go on as long as, because I have a little caveat here. Tomorrow, I am recording an episode. First of all, episode 6 is an interview with the Bristol police chief who had the case snatched away from him from the Bucks County DA's office. So there was all kinds of law enforcement competition to grab this case.
See, now usually it's the other way around. They're trying to pawn off the case, right? They don't want the stats.
But they want the glory to solve this case. So that's episode 6. Tomorrow, I have an interview. I track down the grandson of a major suspect, a major murder suspect in the case. I tracked down his grandson, and he is coming on tomorrow. We're going to record him.
Wow. By phone, I assume.
From Louisiana. You know, one of the suspects went down to Louisiana after he left Bristol, got convicted of manslaughter, was a really bad guy. This is a relative, his grandson, but the grandson was raised by the murder suspect.
Interesting.
That's tomorrow.
Wait, you're doing this by phone. I don't have to worry about you.
I'm doing it by Zoom.
All right, good. I would be concerned if this guy was coming to your house or something.
Well, yeah, we'll have to see the episode. We'll see how it turns out.
All right.
610-632-0975. Mike Missanelli Show continues. Wednesday, I happened to stumble across this video. I'm going to play it, see if I can play it into the microphone. Nick Castellanos hit a home run last night, right?
I thought you were going to play a different video.
No.
I thought you were going to play the one you showed me.
No, I'm not playing the video that's circulating that involves Diddy and some other local rapper. But I'm going to play this because this is sometimes you get caught up when you got a regional broadcast. You get caught up in going down to a sideline reporter, and then something happens, right? So, like, here's let me see if I can get this thing up here. This is the Brewers telecast, and the sideline reporter is going off on something.
Games between the Brewers and the Phillies here. The magic number is just for the National League Central, and the Brewers pitching has been tested with a lot of adversity and injuries. They have used 17 different starters. They have used 12 different pitchers to secure a save, and now you can put Colin Ray on both of those lists. As last night he went 2 2/3 scoreless innings to secure his first career save, and we learned after the game that Pat Murphy had approached him earlier in the day as Nick Castellanos just went out here, guys.
Now, come on. You got a home run here at the plate. You got to give a quicker delivery. That's not the time for a longer story under relief pitching woes, right? Right?
Yeah, no. And you also know,
as Nick Castellanos hits a home run. Now back to Colin Ray,
and you also know, Castellanos hits home runs when big things happen in the news.
Yeah.
So with P. Diddy getting arrested, you knew he was going yard.
All right, man. Let's get back to the phones. Kevin in North Carolina, you're on 97.5 The Fanatic. Kevin.
Hey, Mike.
What's up, Kevin?
Good. Haven't called in a long time, but it's just want to say it's great having you back on the air.
Thank you, buddy.
You got it. So I just wanted to call in about the end of game situation there.
Mm-hmm.
And I think we can all agree that whether you kick the field goal or not, you should still win that game. So, I mean, that's a separate point. But with that being said, I don't believe you can kick a field goal there on that fourth down. Because if you choose an option with a 90% chance to win versus an option with a 95% chance to win, you chose the wrong option. And you have to take into consideration...
Well, let's talk about it went down from 94 to 85. Are we talking about, like, reversing the odds in the other team's favor? It's still 85% that you're going to win the game. I'll take those odds.
Right. Yeah, I'm not arguing that they shouldn't have won the game. They should have won the game either way. Okay. But he chose the one with the lesser percentage to win. And you have to take into consideration, I know you mentioned the 6 point and they're not going to give him a touchdown, but it's something we see every single week. Like, there was almost 2 minutes left. We see teams go down with a minute and a half, whatever. There's a big penalty. They get to the 1 yard line. They have 30 seconds left to score a touchdown. It happens every single week.
What do you see more of, though? Getting into field goal position or scoring a touchdown?
Let's see. That's where my mindset comes in. Where I like, if you can't get that third and fourth down conversion, and you can hold it to a tie and go to overtime, that's a win in my book. Versus forcing the Falcons' hand to score a touchdown. They have to score a touchdown. They have no other choice. They can.
I don't understand why you would consider that a win when going up by 6 makes it more difficult for the other team to even tie the score.
Because if they score, you lose. If they go down and get a field goal, which they're not going to give up the chance to score a field goal by risking a touchdown. They're just going to get the field goal, and you can live another day in overtime.
All right, but you heard the coach's explanation there, right?
Oh, I heard the coach going in circles for sure. Yeah,
his explanation didn't go in circles. His explanation was pretty resolute.
I don't know. He was saying a lot of words there, trying to cover his butt.
I don't know. It seemed to make sense why he would want to go up by 6 there. But
all right. Well, I was saying at the time, don't kick the field goal. Don't kick the field goal. Just if we get a tie, then.
Well, I was saying just the opposite. Kick the field goal.
Look,
guarantee yourself a victory.
Yeah, you may not like Sirianni, and we could debate whether or not the team respects him and all that, but I don't second guess him for a second when it comes to doing the analysis before I think the guy puts a lot of time into. When you're saying he's just saying words, I don't think those were just words. I'm sure he did have the department pull all those things, and I just don't think he should have told us about it. Just be more confident in your decisions.
Well, he's saying that he used analytics to make that decision, but the analytics with the win percentage says otherwise. So I'm not really sure what.
But it's 94 to 85. Would you take an 85% winning percentage? Sure.
But to be fair, he didn't say
95% winning percentage.
he didn't say he just used analytics. What he said was analytics is part of the equation, but I also asked for them to pull all of the scenarios where this went down. He was saying there's more than just analytics in the equation, and I agree. I don't think you should just coach based off of analytics alone. There's got to be a feel to the game. I would have kicked the field goal early, but I'm certainly kicking the field goal late. Like, I don't understand this mentality. They should have played for the tie.
Yeah, I agree. Kevin, general knowledge question for you.
Let's do it.
Okay, here is the question. Let's go with this one here. Let's see. Oh man, I had it right in my. Oh, okay. What movie from the 1980s featured a cute little creature named Gizmo?
Gremlins.
Correct.
Yes.
Hold on a second. Does that take the lead over Ray?
4-3 callers.
Ray, I got to give you one before the break. And our Robert Everett's coming up in 5 minutes. What is the highest grade of olive oil, Ray?
Virgin?
Extra virgin.
All right.
Oh, man. We're tied. Ray didn't get it.
No, they're winning 4-3.
Oh, it's 4-3.
Yeah, they got back-to-back questions.
Extra virgin.
EVOO.
He went virgin and not extra. Mike Missanelli Show continues. Missanelli Show, 97.5, The Fanatic. We got a special guest on the line. He's a world-class chef. He's an entrepreneur. He's a major philanthropic supporter of the nation's military. He's the host of the Food Network's hit show Restaurant Impossible, where he gives struggling restaurateurs a second chance to turn their lives around and their businesses. And he's got a birthday coming up that he's celebrating with the Phillies. Ladies and gentlemen, the great Robert Irvine joins us. Robert.
Oh, hey, listen, two legends. Legends in sports radio, and I'm talking to you. How about that?
No, you're than me. So let's talk about this Philly. How did you get hooked up with the Phillies with this thing?
So I've been going to the Phillies, the Middleton family and the team there are doing such a great job and have been, since I've been here in 1996, I've been a Phillies fan. I go to as many games as possible. And they supported my foundation, Robert Irvine Foundation, for a while. And that's how we got it. We did one there not so long ago, and it was so good that my team decided, hey, your 59th birthday, we're doing it again. It was that good.
Wow. Well, so what's going on? So the people that can join into this, they get the tickets, they get food and drinks, they get to meet and greet with you. Well, what else is going on with this?
First and foremost, you get with me in a tent with food and alcohol and John Kruk. I mean, that's right there worth it. We have it starts at 5:10, and the game starts at 6:40ish, I think. So you'll be able to hang with John, myself, take lots of pictures, have some fun, ask questions. I mean, it is the last homestand season of the, game of the season. So, it should be packed out. The season they're having is amazing. This is just a way for me to celebrate and be amongst some fans and make some money for my charity and be a lot of fun.
Wow, I didn't know this Phillies connection with you, so that's pretty cool. But you also have Lansdale, PA, or a company that you started with. It's called Boardroom Spirits. Tell me a little bit about that.
So Boardroom Spirits, in fact, every business we have, or most of them, I should say, are in PA. So we have Lansdale, which is our distillery, Boardroom Spirits that we've had for about 7 years. And we go out to the Taster Room. We got a restaurant just a couple of miles away from it, which is pretty cool. But we make our protein bars in Pittsburgh. So Philly, our TV shows were first started in Philly. So I have a really close connection with Philly, even though I'm from England. And yes, I am a citizen of the United States. So now I've got to have every Philly team, right? I mean, the Eagles, even though, hey, let's not talk about that. But, Philly to me has been home for a while. I stay there. I'll be there doing the TV show soon on Veterans Day, Memorial Day. So, I'm a big Philly guy.
I ran into you one day at the Red Owl Bar at that hotel.
Yeah.
You were in there, and I was in there having a drink, and I go, should I go up to him? And you were talking with somebody, and so I didn't bother you. But I thought it was really cool that you were hanging out in Philly.
You should have, yeah. When I'm in Philly, that's where I stay normally, there or W. And I'm in Philly a lot because I do a lot around that area, obviously. But yeah, I mean, it's like my home from home. I travel.
That's pretty cool. I'm really interested in your foundation because it gives back to really a worthy cause. The servicemen and women and first responders and, mental health and wellness services, veterans in need. You provide mobility devices for the disabled. How did you first get into that?
Well, in 2000, I was already doing a lot with other foundations, but in 2014, I decided that I want to focus on mental and physical health. That means, mobility devices, our dog program, Reuniting the Brave, all those kind of things that bring people back together to help in suicide. In fact, last week in Erie, Pennsylvania, we did a golf tournament for the foundation, RobertIrvineFoundation.org, and then the following night, we did a barbecue for 3,000 and a concert with Michael Franti that benefits, obviously, the foundation, but also the PAL program in Erie with the Police Athletic League where they take the kids. So, and then in Colorado, the day after, to do a symposium of post-traumatic stress and suicide prevention, and then fed the firefighters in Vail, Colorado, and police officers that night. So, we're really into taking care of the men and women that wear the cloth of our nation, our armed forces and their families, our Gold Star families, And then there's firefighters, there's police officers, there's EMT, the 911 operators, all those people that get forgotten. And I'm going to make sure they're never get forgotten. And it's a big deal for me. So it's my life's work about making sure that people know that they put the line on the line every day for us.
Yeah,
so I want to support that.
It's fantastic. We're talking to Robert Irvine, world-class chef, entrepreneur. Robert, let me just talk about your show a little bit because I watch it a lot, Restaurant Impossible. And here's that you come off as so kind in this. Like, I watch Bar Rescue, and that guy's ready to chop people's heads off. But you're really kind to these folks.
Well, here's the thing. You get more with sugar than spice. and at the end of the day, you're there to help them, not to rip them apart and chastise them. You're there to help them. So I've got 48 hours to get the message. I don't say I don't get upset with them, because I do when they don't grasp it. But I really got to listen and understand what was their original vision, what was their idea of getting into this business and all that kind of stuff. So it's a real 48 hours, real change. We've had some amazing success on it. And hopefully we'll get back to it soon. So, stay tuned on that one. But, again, you got to be nice to people every day you like, no matter where it is or who it is. You might meet them on the way up, the ladder going up and then the ladder coming down. So you got to be careful.
Robert, I got to ask you this question, and I hope it doesn't come off the wrong way. But I'm an Italian, right? So Italians are real snobby about our cuisine. I've been to England a few times, been to the UK, been to London. I never thought of the UK as a world-class cuisine, and here it spawns you and Gordon Ramsay. Explain this to me.
Well, it's funny. Look, English food is not known to be the best, but here's the note for you, because you're Italian, right? Here's a note. The best 10 restaurants in the world are actually in London. They're just not run by English guys.
Right. You have great Indian cuisine there from the people that come in, the immigrants that come in there, and the world class restaurants. But you're an English chef, so
but I cook all different kinds of food. Here's the note for you: the biggest failing restaurant in the world is an Italian restaurant.
Really?
Believe it or not, because everybody thinks it's easy to do Italian food. Whether you call it sauce, whether you call it gravy, whatever you do. It's the biggest failing because everybody thinks they can get into it and do it well, but they can't. It's not that easy. Cooking is easy when you do it at home, but when you have expectations built into these restaurants because you're spending your hard-earned money, it's a little different. It's more cutthroat. So, I can tell you in Restaurant Impossible, out of 300 plus restaurants I've saved, I would say a good 60% of them are Italian.
That's interesting. So you're obviously a classically trained chef. So you're beyond the blood, sausage, and bangers and mash thing.
Yeah, I'm a classically French trained chef.
Yeah.
So Although I do like bangers and mash and a pint of Guinness.
Oh, I got it. Yeah, sure. Yeah, at the pub. I get it. Listen, how do people get involved in this birthday bash with you?
So they can go to Phillies.com/Robert Irvine Foundation. To buy tickets, and they can check out RobertIrvineFoundation.org to see where that money goes and what we do with it. But I would say this: make sure that you have some tissues, because there's some amazing stories on there of change and heart. And we've got some great volunteers that are 99% burns.
Wow.
Mike is just going through his 100th operation in the next couple of weeks. We got some great volunteers. We're doing great work, Mike and Bill. I tell you, when you see what we're doing, we're about to, again in Erie, Pennsylvania, stick a Robert Irvine flag in a seminary college that we're turning into veterans vocational schools. So PA is where I came from. England, came straight here, or Atlantic City to here. Or there, I should say, because I'm in Chattanooga, Tennessee, doing a dinner with Zach Brown's people tonight. Philly people, the greatest on the planet. They like to drink, they like to party, they love the teams. They get out and support a great charity that's local, and we do lots of work in that area. We get iBots out, which are wheelchairs. We give mobility devices, mobility bikes that are bowhead bikes, or 20 miles an hour for double amputees. They can go out. My idea is to get people out of their four walls when they're injured and thinking bad thoughts, and get them amongst people. We just had 750 Marines back together after 20 years in the Iraq War that haven't seen each other with their families and Gold Star families. 600 rescue swimmers. I took 100 people. I've taken 100 people this year to Scotland for a 54-mile march with 1,000 coalition wounded. This is the money that allows us to do great work. And you go to robertirvinefoundation.org and see what we're doing, see where your money goes. We don't take it and use it for offices. We take it and put it into the communities and do the work with it. So,
well, listen, sir, you do great work, sir. I tip my cap to you. So thanks for coming on, and we'll have some fun next week.
Hey, listen, I just had the best experience ever. I'm on with you guys. I mean, that's great. I mean, the Middletons do it. The family's doing great with the team, the staff and coaching, and the players. It's going to be an exciting time.
We were sports talk impossible until you came on. You refurbished us. Thanks, Robert. Thank you very much for coming on. We'll talk to you.
Thanks.
There he is. Robert Irvine. How about that?
Yeah, he's a good dude. I didn't get to ask him about his upright row routine for those traps, but
yeah, I know.
I'll shoot him an email.
I didn't think we would, the listeners would want to hear about you talking about
I got the information on the protein powder company for you. Don't worry.
Yeah. Thank you, Ray.
We'll pass that along to you.
Always looking out.
Is it whey protein, right?
Always looking out.
It's going to Ish in Levittown. Ish, you're on 97.5 The Fanatic. What's up, Ish?
Hey, Mike.
How you doing?
I like that last segment because I had a situation that I had to ask you, and I think that you give good advice, life advice. So, but before I get started, I agree with Bill on the Nick Sirianni conversation. I just believe you don't have to dive into his expertise about his play call, and at this point we can question it, but he has to make the decision of the points, what's right or wrong, and see what happens the next game.
Look at you, Ish, going pragmatic on us here.
Ish is getting better and better with his
I know. Ish, you're getting some analysis going on.
Okay. And I do want a general knowledge question, but Mike, I have a question.
Yes, sir.
This girl, right, invited me over for dinner again, right? The first time I went, she can't cook. She has no type of flavor. She don't season her food at all, right? And she just invited me a couple minutes ago while Mr. Irvine was on, asking me if I wanted dinner again. I didn't respond yet, so I'm trying to figure out what's your advice on that?
Well, what does she try to cook you before?
Spaghetti and meatballs. She's of a different, let's say, background. So she really don't.
She can't cook. So she can't cook. Well, listen, I would give her a chance, but I would suggest some stuff like, baby, you want to use a little salt and pepper, like something like that.
Yeah, she don't even use that. Her potato salad was so dry.
Really?
Well, are you hoping this is a serious thing, Ish? Like, are you trying to see where this relationship goes?
I don't know. It's just a date. I don't,
No, I think you can actually be. You can go on a date, give her another shot, but suggest that maybe, listen. I can cook. I cook, and when I cook this, I do this.
See, I would go straight to. Let me bring over takeout.
No, you got to let her try it again. But just make little suggestions. That would be my suggestion.
You don't think that would be disrespectful if I say, let's order takeout?
No. You let her cook. But as she's cooking, let me see your process there. Oh, that's interesting. Have you ever tried it with a little salt? Stuff like that.
Okay. Or bring my own little salt packet, probably.
No. You can't bring your own salt packet.
Okay.
Here's your general knowledge question. Okay. This is the compound word. So it's two words put together to form one. All right? So if I say one-piece outer garment originally worn by a parachutist, what word am I looking for?
Swimsuit.
Jumpsuit. It's got to be jumpsuit-ish.
Swimsuit.
Right? It's jumpsuit. It's got to be.
Of course it's jumpsuit.
Come on, Ish. That was a great call by Ish, too. It was a great call by Ish.
Go to
I don't think we have time. Callers are going to win 4-3. Well, Ray does have a chance to tie.
Closing arguments on the Mike Missanelli Show.
Time for
Brought to
closing
you by
arguments.
Lowenthal and Abrams Injury Attorneys. Injured in an accident, call 800-876-LAWYER or visit LowenthalAbrams.com.
All right, my closing argument today really is kind of sticking up for Nick Sirianni. My man was getting hammered for his decision when he actually analyzed the decision, I think, pretty well. And he gave an answer on why today he gave an answer. But before we even got to today, there were people that were really coming down with the hammer on him and tuning him out as the head coach and dropping the Eagles into power rankings and all that stuff. And the headline, why not be aggressive-minded and go for it on fourth down? Well, he was aggressive-minded and he went for it on third down. And that should have sealed the game. At that point, once you get to a fourth down, to me, the right decision is to go up by 6. I can't imagine that there are people that look at that and go, you should have gone for it again, and then they had to go all the way down the field. But, yeah, they have to go down the field and score a touchdown now if you kick the field goal. So my closing argument is that Nick Sirianni wasn't conservative when he made those decisions. He, in fact, was the opposite. He respected analytics on one of those when he decided not to kick the field goal early on, and then he kicked the field goal late because the situation demanded that he kick a field goal to go up by 6, not thinking that his defense could possibly give up a touchdown, which they did. That's not his fault. That's Vic Fangio's fault. And I can't believe I'm sitting here defending Nick Sirianni, who I don't even like. But that's my closing argument for today. Nick, you got a friend in me.
We all fertilize.
This may be the first closing argument where I have no rebuttal, my friend. Well said, Mikey Miss.
I'm the dumbest coach in the world.
Stop it back there, Ray.
Oh, man, the poor
So I'm not
guy
doing a good enough
get
job.
embroiled. And then today, he explained it in great detail on why he did it. And the people that criticized, they sat there on their hands and didn't come at him. You can't come at him one day and then come at him the next day. Come on, people.
All right, who's our winner? Do we get a winner for the Bates Motel tickets? Let us know. I think Sean's back there.
All right, Sean, we got a winner. It's Deshaun. Deshaun was an early caller. He gets the tickets to the haunted house.
Deshaun and Mike, quick programming announcement for tomorrow.
Yes, tomorrow, Amy Fadul will be here from 10 to 12. The great Amy sits in for us because we have been summoned to a corporate event of sorts for 2 hours.
Correct.
So we will we'll join the show at 12 o'clock. Amy Fadul will take you into 12, coming on from 10 to 12. So stay tuned for Amy tomorrow. Then Bill and I and Ray. Ray's going to produce the whole show. He's going to produce Amy, too. So Ray will be there for a whole 4 hours. We'll only be there for 2. Have a great rest of the night, everybody. Thanks for listening today on General Knowledge Wednesday. Congratulations to the audience, and we'll talk to you tomorrow.